Hello and welcome to Lansdowne Window Review. Sorry for the delay, folks. Just a bit of a technical snafu. We'll talk about that in 2 seconds. David Dunn here, joined by Martin Prendergast and, of course, Conor McAvoy from Republic of Ireland Player Tracker. Can't go on Player Tracker tonight. Apologies for that, due to a technical snafu, which Conor is going to sort out when he can.
It's whenever
Anyway,
Twitter sorted out.
yeah, when Twitter sorts it out. So yeah, you're very welcome, guys. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for watching out there as always. If you like what you see, love what you hear, scan that QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter account. And Connor's when he gets it bloody sorted out. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also head over to lansdowneroar.ie. That is lansdowneroar.ie. Lots to talk about here. We're going to take a look here at the window that's just gone by. A little later than normal. Apologies for that. But basically, I've only got back from Dublin a few hours, so you can blame me. So, lads, the window's over. And we've had, played 2, lost 2. On a scale of yes, how bad was this window for the boys in green? Martin, I'll let you go first.
It was a poor window results wise, and it's taken a long time to kind of get to where we were, really, with our new manager coming in and John O'Shea as part of the coaching staff. Results did not go well at all, and performances too, of course, very disappointing overall. I think I spoke to a lot of people who are long time stalwarts of Irish football, I would say, supporting the team for more years than I'm old, Dave, and I know you was going about my age, but, said this is the lowest they've been for many, many years. And yeah, it's not a nice time to be an Ireland fan. And there's so much, obviously, analysis now these days. We obviously do the show and talk about Irish football. And I think we are at an all-time low. A lot of people disillusioned with it, disillusioned with the management structure, the FAI. There's just blame being thrown around everywhere and the players. And yeah, it's just a bit of a sad time. But saying that, it's amazing. I'm always kind of surprised in a sense that the Irish support still hangs in there. And, we've got 2 games coming up, October the 10th and the 13th, against Finland and Greece, respectively. And I know the FAI have opened up their applications. And speaking from a perspective of West London, we've got amazing support, still determined to go and follow this Irish team around the world. And I think that's a testament to the Irish fans, and it's keep the faith, basically, that they, I'm amazed, really. I'm going a course as well, and I'm just thinking, why am I doing it? Why did I travel over from London to Dublin to watch that kind of performance?
Jesus, Martin, I thought you were going to put a positive spin on it.
No, but there's just so much wrong with Irish football, and I'd rather come up with solutions. That was my spin on as a positive person, trying to be anyway about Irish football. All-time low, I think, but rather than moaning and bitching about it, I think we can kind of spin it around. And I think there's a lot of work from the FAI to do, of course, coaching staff to do. I know we're going to talk about that as well this evening. But yeah, overall, very disillusioned with it all. Poor performances. And maybe false expectation from us, because some of us got carried away, didn't we, to think that we were going to beat England because we were going to catch them on the hop. And
I never did.
Manager. No, you didn't. Okay,
I never did.
And then Greece, we were thinking, oh well, we'll beat them, but we've never beaten them. So we've got to just be fair and reflective of where we are as a nation.
I've got my opinion on that, but Conor, I'll get to that in a second. But Conor, yourself, do you believe? Martin says he's disillusioned. Irish football is in an awful state. By the way, Conor, before you answer that, you folks at home watching, what do you think? Happy to say, leave a comment, get involved, ask us anything you want. We will get to the questions after about 30 minutes. Tell us what you think. Are you disillusioned? Are you going to Helsinki? Are you going to Athens? Are you going to go in November when we play Finland? What will be our last home game? Are you going to England after that? I know people that have cancelled England away. Get involved. Are we keeping you awake there, Mr. McAvoy?
No. Keep me engaged and I'll be fine.
Damn right. So, Conor, what do you make of what Martin says? Disillusioned.
He's right in the sense, isn't he, that it has been a bit of an absolute shit show lately. But the window's over now. I think getting the first weekend of football back with out Ireland playing has been a bit. Well, it's only been 1.5 days, but it's been good to get away from a while and reflect on what's been went well, what's went not so well, which has been a lot of things. But uh, I can look back on it and think there's definitely some positives to take, especially from that second Greece game. But yeah, there's a lot of negatives. But I think come next October, things can easily be turned around. A win against Finland and fans be back in the high horse. It's football's a simple game, one win, and everyone is living in the moment again, thinking, right, we beat Finland. Why can't we go to Greece and beat Greece in Greece? So uh, I I think we've learned a lot about in terms of backroom staff, whether they're up to it or not, whether the manager's up to it or not.
Mm.
But I'm not too worried as of yet.
Oh well, I must disagree. I'm very worried. Unlike what you said, Martin, I never thought we were going to beat England. I suggested a 2-0 loss, a hearty 2-0 loss perhaps, and it wasn't that really. They were toying with us in the end. No, I think it was a terrible window. Nobody was expecting us to beat England, but what they were expecting to see was application. Was a change of application. Was application from the manager. Was the team, having new breath brought into it, so to speak. A new manager, that new manager bounce, whatever euphemism, whatever phrase you want to see it. And then we're told, John O'Shea's going to pick the team. Grand. And we saw that was very heavy on the wing backs, 5 midfielders. You saw the squad. Then you see the team. And for me, it was the same. It was okay for the first 10 minutes, but then it's like the team's making the same mistakes. Nobody pressing out from the back three. We're playing a wing back system without wing backs, this kind of thing. You got Matt Doherty being squeezed up, ball hit over, he doesn't track back. All the managers know that. They're all watching that, the opposition managers. Then you get, that was over. That game was after 20 minutes. England just kind of took the foot off the gas, thinking, yeah, grand. Don't need to get injured. North London Derby coming up on Sunday, that kind of thing. And then we had the game against Greece, and I'm watching an RTE. An RTE are showing you highlights as to how Greece tore us apart in the game in June, or not June, in I think September 2023. And it's the same thing. The centre back's not pushing out. Matt Doherty being sucked in, and then basically creating a space between him and the right centre back of that back three. And it's just, oh my God, it's groundhog. And then the exact same thing happened about 2 hours later. No, I think it was poor. And then the manager coming out after the England game and saying, I need a bit more time here. What have you been doing for the last few weeks? And then, you've got fans. Martin, you traveled from London. Conor, you traveled from Monaghan. I traveled from London. It's not cheap, right? It's quite expensive. There was fans out there that had to pay for tickets in a 3-match pack, okay, because that's how they did it, because the FEI are potless. Fair enough. And then you got a manager coming out saying, don't worry about it, not a couple of windows now. No, sorry. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? This team, these players need a massive kick up the arse. They need a manager to come in and go, right, that's not acceptable. We're doing the same things, and we're still doing the same things. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. We're picking the same players, and the same players are making the same mistakes. Identical. And then you think, okay, look, there was a bit of a backlash. Apparently, from what I've heard in the press, Hamer, the manager, is upset about that. Tough. I mean, what did he know what he was walking into? Did he know the state of Irish football, how unhappy the fans are? Goes back to the PAC. £500 million gone up in smoke. You look at the state of Irish football, Dundalk on the ropes, Dundalk about to go with the FEI, I think. I don't know, there's an AGM today. Apparently they're getting rid of one of their pathway plans, Conor. We'll talk about that later on. Or their, like the academy plans.
Emerging talent program that's been in place for years.
There you go. So they got rid of that, and we're very short of talent. We don't have a left back. I said we're playing a system of players we don't have the players for. It's madness. You got Troy Parrott has just gone out there and scored 4 goals, I believe. I saw one of the comments there, right? Couldn't get a kick for whatever reason over the 2 games. Scandalous. Scandalous decisions. And you're looking at it going, where's the hope? That's what I'm looking at it. Where's the hope? And people are right to be angry. And then the manager comes out and goes, I'm not going to go to any. Well, it was reported he didn't go to any games over the weekend. Or he has
just a question on that. A question that is that I seen David Conley said he only said he's not going to Premier League games. Is that true, or is he just not going to games altogether? I thought it was no games altogether.
I
I
believe
thought it was.
I don't know. If anyone out there is watching and can shed some light in it, Martin, do you know? Sorry, I'm gone off.
I don't know. No, I don't know for certain. No, but yeah, I've only seen what's been speculated by the press, and obviously the furor about that from Ireland fans, thinking, that's your job, that's what you've got to do. I do know that John O'Shea is doing, he's checking out games and traveling and watching Ireland players play. So that is part of his remit, without doubt. And I get all them points, Dave, and I agree to large extent about some of the wrong things that happened in the camp and in that window.
They're not. But they're not new things, though, Martin.
No,
That's my
they're
problem.
not. No, they're not. No, they're not. But I think you really have to look at this. He said after the first game the team are lacking confidence, and and again he's emphasised that again. That, the shirt's weighing heavy on them. I think that's again to spin it and get the fans behind the team. But at the end of the day, you have to get the fans behind the team by giving them something to cheer. And it was such a flat atmosphere the other night. That's where I use the word disillusioned. It's because the fans, there was no real buzz about that. There was for the England game. It was a new era. And we were looking forward to it and thinking it's England in our own backyard and we can put it up to them. And we didn't even have a bit of that about us. And that's the disappointing thing with it for me. I think, to be fair to him and John O'Shea, whoever picked the team, they did make the changes. Significant ones, I think, for the second game.
Oh, the second.
Well, it did, yeah. Like not making.
Yeah, I thought you meant over the first. I thought you meant the first game.
No, the first one, of course, no. But I think, is he letting some of these? Like, I'm trying to spin it, I suppose, but I'm trying to understand it. Like, is he letting some of these players fall on their own sword? Like, I love the fact the pundits come out. Stephen Kelly said about calling out Doherty, without a doubt. It has to be. That can't be allowed.
Not good enough.
At that level, it can't be, and we can't think of it going to be.
But he does it all the time.
And no, I know that, but so he's surely not going to be given an opportunity now. And
but why is he picking him?
Haven't we? Yeah, we've had that with Doherty.
But he's done it for years.
I think
criticising him.
I think the in-game switches were done by the backroom team. I think all them in-game switches were done by the backroom, because if you look at the way the team fell apart in the second half, I know obviously Heimer should be taking authority there, but I do think when you look at them players on the sideline talking, they were there. Paddy McCarthy had the board out. I know it usually is a backroom member of staff, but I'm sure whatever they come up with in the sideline, Heimer was soon to agree.
Yeah, I mean, look, we look. Here's a positive, right, from the game against Greece. We looked better. The 4-4-2. I said it in the pre-show. I said I think 4-4-2, back to basics, nice simple system. Why? Because the team's at a low ebb. Just go in there, lads. We're not going to overcomplicate it. Okay, we're just going to start from absolute scratch. 4-4-2, nice and solid. We just need to stop conceding stupid goals. Get a bit of cohesion back in, bit of shape back into the squad, bit of composure, squad, bit of composure. The back line very falling apart. Darragh O'Shea constantly out of step with the back line. I noticed in the first game and the second game. I was watching that. By the way, and that's something that you only notice when you're at the fucking match, by the way, when you're watching it. You can see that the player, but that's another point there. So you don't get that on Sky Sports cameras or whatever. And I can see that he was constantly out of line. So we need to keep it nice and basic. I think as well that there was mixed messages, because they were 4-4-2, weren't they? And then out of possession, and then in possession they were 3-5-2-1 or whatever it was. 3-5-3-1. What was it, Conor?
Us.
Yeah,
we sort of went into like a 3-5. Yeah. It was like a 3-5-2.
Too much.
Shape.
Yeah. For me, too much confusion.
Nice they were trying to get the width there then and getting those attackers forward.
I think it's a natural thing when you have three centre halves playing.
And it was okay. It was actually all right. You know what? It looked like we'd woken. To be fair, that was the positive from the game. Against Greece, we looked okay. It looked like we'd been in a bit of a coma. It looked like we'd sort of woken up a bit. We're a bit groggy. We're waking up, and by the time half-time came, you think, Jesus, like you could have done another 10 minutes there, like we were going to score. Benny almost scored one of the greatest goals I've ever seen live. But what happens again? And it's always the 45, 50-minute slot, isn't it? It's always that where we seem to drop off every time. And it's always a goal from outside the box. Why? Because our defenders don't press. They're not organised. Nobody wants to take leadership. That is a confidence issue. That is down to the management. That is down to the coaches. It happened under Kenny. It happened under O'Shea, and it's still happening on Heimer, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. What I would say is that the Greece game was very much a Stephen Kenny kind of match, right? That we saw a lot of Stephen Kenny. We looked a bit okay, like we were kind of putting up to a lot better performance from after the first game, without a doubt. And obviously the opposition has dropped off significantly, but it came down to that fine margins of that they only need that opportunity. Those teams, they have a player, he will score that goal, they then break the game up. They slow it down. They do all their usual kind of dark arts, and that's what we're rubbish at dealing with. So it was going to be that kind of game against the Greeks, especially. They're just wily to it, and some of these teams are. And we had nothing to combat that. That was a disappointing thing. You'd have to question as well over the camp and the two games some of the players who were not involved. I think that game against Greece, especially when you had Brady playing there, Casey McAteer did very well when he got involved. But I think we're crying out for everything's coming down the right. Like, surely as a coaching staff, you've got to see everything was coming down that right hand side, nothing down from the left. That's where you
maybe
kind of have. Well, yeah, I'm coming on to it. O'Dowd is a natural left wing. No, but then Brady.
No, I do agree with you on that. I do agree.
What they would have done. They would have gone overlapped each other. We had none of that overlapping or even underlapping inverted runs. We had none of that, and we had no threat from there, no crosses from that side. So it was just very tactically inept, I would say, because we just had opportunities and we didn't really seem to evolve within the game. And I knew when they went 1-0 up, I thought, Jesus, it's going to be tough now to get back into it.
Yeah.
Fans, to be honest, have a part to play, and we kind of got on their back a little bit. I felt very sympathetic.
Can't blame the fans.
Well.
So
No, but this thing of I think what Heimer's coming out with now is it is the narrative, and it is the right one. I think we need to give the fans something to cheer about, which is difficult, but we have to get behind the players. It can't be very good for us to even try and recruit players going forward when, lads now, I'm not on about the likes of Doherty getting booed or coming on or whatever like that. His time with Ireland's finished, but Will Smallbone will be in the future Ireland important player. And I know he said he was embarrassed after getting the award. It's not his fault, but we have to think how it is impacting these young players. I'm saying that as we saw what happened with England during the Euros, and we saw the press narrative with Southgate and how that switched back and forth. We do have a part to play as fans in supporting the lads. We may not all like them, half the players playing sometimes, or we think, oh, he's no good anymore. But I think the expectation is not realistic. It's not, Dave. I'm sitting there. No, but Dave, you can hear some of the things said around from the fans in this stadium. It's ridiculous. It's like they've never been at a game of football before. It's unbelievable. Well, it's just shite.
I disagree with that, and I'll get back to it. But sorry, Conor, you want to come in there?
I don't think we're as bad as people make it out. And I think on the pitch, yes, we're bad, but there's no way we should be as bad as what we are, which I think comes down to management and something wrong with players. Like, look, for example, today, I think we can all agree that Darragh O'Shea was dreadful over the course of 2 games.
Yeah. Kept stepping
and if you
out.
look today, I was watching Ipswich against Brighton, and if you even go to SofaScore, I know we don't want to go off stats, but the highest rated outfield player on the pitch today was Darragh O'Shea with 8.1, 6 clearances, 4 blocks, 5 interceptions, 2 tackles, and a shot. I know we don't want to go off stats, but if he could put in a wonderful performance today against a top team in Brighton, and actually it was good to see Evan Ferguson came back today, he nearly scored from 25 yards out, but what is going wrong in the Ireland setup? Like Collins as well. Collins again played 90 minutes against Man City at the Etihad today. Troy Parrott scores 4. I said to you before the game against Greece, we should have played Troy Parrott up front. Like, playing Sammy Sonics up front's a waste today. Like, he was very poor for Ipswich today, but I know when you play against Brighton, they're an exceptional side. But I just don't know. Like, Casey McAteer people have been gloating Casey McAteer's performances. I think he's been decent, but he didn't even make the bench today for Leicester. Whilst we have the likes of Finn Azaz, he played 78 minutes today for Middlesbrough. Like, we need creative players in our team, players that can link up 1-2. Like, that's not the sort of player at the moment we're picking up. We're just playing players that are early 2000s type of players, were old school, your traditional British type player that put the head down, cross the ball in, decision making at times quite poor. Whilst we do have smart footballers available to us, like the likes of Troy Parrott. It's like we just don't know how to use them. If you're going to play Troy Parrott, why aren't we giving him a chance? Like, we brought on Adam Ida. Like, that still frustrates me. Why are we bringing on Adam Ida to play as a number 10 against Greece. It just seems like the type of thing, when a manager doesn't know what to do with the players he's got, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just find a way to get them on the pitch." It reminds me of, if anyone remembers, when United had Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in the same team, and they had kept throwing Pogba out in the left wing because Solskjaer didn't know how to fit them in the same team.
Yeah.
And it was just like he's trying to fit Ida and he was trying to fit Ferguson in, and I just don't understand.
Well,
Like
that's the
he,
setup, though.
yeah,
Like that's, I mean, Smolich is a number 10, so you'd play him behind.
Yeah.
Ideally, you play him behind someone like Ferguson or maybe
Yeah.
an Ida.
yeah, because you need a bit. You do need a bit of
yeah.
height in the box, but I think the thing of chasing the game, like even Troy Parrott, play him as a false 9. Like we brought on Callum Robinson. He wasn't even on the bench today for Cardiff. I've searched on Twitter to find out if he was injured. Nothing comes up. So that kind of tells something, doesn't it? When you search a player's name on Twitter, and usually when a player's not involved in the squad, you'd have fans being like, "Oh, where is so and so?" It was a bit like Smallbone today. When Smallbone wasn't involved, there was loads of tweets saying that he has a hamstring issue. But Callum Robinson was absolutely not. So it just shows that they don't feel he's that important to a Cardiff City squad that's struggling in the Championship.
Bottom.
So I don't know. Yeah, so like, how are we meant to say he's important to us? Well, we have Troy Parrott scoring 4 goals in Holland, and we've Finn Azaz, who's our most gifted creative player we've got, and even Will Smallbone's not even that liked amongst small Southampton fans, but I know Russell Martin he rates him very highly. So I think we have good players, and if you look at some of the squads we've had, even at the start of Stephen Kenny era, we had a lot of these lads were younger and they're not half as talented as they are now. So I just wonder what is going on behind the scenes that they're picking these players.
It's the poor coaching. I'm sorry, Martin. It's poor coaching, and I agree with pretty much everything you're saying there, Connor. These are good players. They're not tippy top players. No one's saying that. No one's expecting us to beat England. No one in the right mind. No one's expecting that. But it doesn't help when you're putting square pegs in round holes. When you're playing Smodic out as a winger in the first game, then you're playing him as a number 9. He's an attacking player, but he's not an out and out striker. You've got Amabama playing as a right back. He's a centre back. Put Liam Scales in left back because we don't have a left back. Give Festi Epicelli a go. And we're bringing on Matt Doherty. They know what he does. They know he doesn't track back. They know he doesn't run. He goes forward, but he doesn't get back. They know these things.
Yeah.
And if you're Matt Doherty, right, Martin, if you're giving those performances and you keep getting picked, why would you change?
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you about Matt Doherty, of course. And like I said, I think they did make a lot of mistakes with the squad they picked. And yeah, I mean, look, I've been a long advocate for like how he messed around with Jason Knight in the Ireland team. He plays everywhere, and he can't nail down a starting spot anywhere. And it's just it's like having a kids football team. Basically, you can, if you've got good players, you can kind of rotate them all and let them all have a go in different positions. We have no set way of playing at the moment, even with our defense. They mix and match that all the time. And I know they've had injuries and things, but surely now I think we need to see in the next squad that he's going to phase out these players who have consistently recently let us down. Like,
do you think?
There's no place, like you're saying there, Connor. Even looking back now, it used to be a case of when Ireland players went back to their squads, they'd be straight in there. And now I know we have to kind of manage their time and their load and all this kind of stuff. And it is early in the season. Let's not forget that. But, Callum Robinson, we know what he does. We know he's limited. He's not the future of Irish football. Whereas I think Troy Parrott will be an important player for us going forward. Casey McAteer may well be. Evan, without doubt, is. Ogbene is. You've got to have them playing more and more together so they know what's going on. Like, have Festi there in that squad.
Yeah.
I'd let them fail, but playing together, because, like you said, we know what Doherty's going to do. We know what Brady does. It just shows you the lack of development, lack of players coming through.
Can I jump in on Festi? Because I was watching the game today and I was switching over and back between the Watford game and Bristol game because there was a few Irish lads involved. And Festi looked very bright when he came on. He looked back to his unbelievably quick pace. And I think what Festi as always seems to be holding against him is the falling asleep at times defensively. But is that not exactly what Matt already done for the goal? And then, as I didn't even notice at the time until I rewatched after, that it was more the fact that Doherty didn't run back in the end when he could have stopped the actual goal if he would have got back, because Collins was slowing Zinio, whatever you call him, up. And if anyone would even tried to run back, would have got, but Doherty was there jogging back. So with the likes of Festi, he can make up with it a lot of the time with his unbelievable pace.
Yeah.
And like why it's just so frustrating. I know me and you were saying, Dave, after the match, it's Heimer to be more judged on how he picks this next squad. But I just worry that I just think Doherty's nailed on. I just think as long as he's in that Wolves squad, and he's always going to get minutes in that Wolves squad because they have a small squad. Semedo's
agree.
quite injury prone, so he's always likely to get minutes. And then thing is, when you're an Ireland manager and someone's even involved in a Premier League match day squad, a lot of the time it's hard to say no, you're not being picked. But maybe he should make a point.
No, I agree, and that's my issue. Look, as I said, right, if we lose to England 2-0, before the game, I would have taken, right, it's going to be hard to 2-0 loss. I would have taken your hand off. I just would have, because that's just where we're at. But you want to see what the manager's trying to do. You look at Hamer and you think, okay, you messed around a little bit. You've had, John O'Shea's had 2 windows beforehand, which is what you really could have done with friendly games. You've had no friendly games. Your first game's England. But I want to see something. I want to see something from the new coaching team where I go, okay, do you know what? We've got something here. You could see something. Rome wasn't built in a day. Maybe the first, and then the second game, you think, okay, yeah, right, more our level, that opposition, and then that gives you a bit of hope going into the next window. But yeah, you still got Doherty, and I think Doherty will be included. By the way, I agree with Conor on that one. Look, I don't like to see players booed, and trust me, got like a bit before your time. All joking aside, Martin, you'll remember this when the Irish players were really got after under the Stan era. Do you remember 06, 07?
Yeah.
Like anytime he appeared anywhere, booed out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to be greeted like rescue wherever he went. But I don't know. I really don't know. Conor and I, Martin, were talking about this the other day after the game. Our most watched episode live, by the way, after that. Just saying, Martin.
I wonder why.
I wonder why, yeah. We love you, Martin. We're only joking. I'll tell you what, we've got a healthy audience here, just under 1,000 people watching us live here tonight on a Saturday night. Thank you very much for that, by the way, your support. So, honestly, that has support been brilliant from the Raw Faithful.
Class, yeah, it's been class.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've even got my mug here. It's making a debut. My new Raw mug was given to me. Fantastic stuff. But Martin, we were talking about this on the last episode we did live after the Greek game, and I reckon, and I think Conor, you agree with me, correct me if I'm wrong, but the next squad,
yeah, we did. We had that's one thing we had a unanimous agreement over was that.
Yeah, the next squad is probably one of the most important squads I can remember in Irish history, because depending who's in, and obviously will lead to what will happen in Helsinki and Athens. What are you laughing at?
Sorry, do you know? I've just seen a footballer post. Just leads Jeremy Sarmiento, place where he's unknown at Burnley, tweeted a photo from putting the L in Ellen Road. That'll not go down well with Leeds fans.
Oh, Jesus
Sorry
Christ.
if there's any Leeds fans on.
There you go. But as I was saying, sorry, dramatic pause there. But I reckon, and we both agree. Actually, Conor and I both agree that this is probably the most important squad selection probably ever that I can remember. Like, I think his tenure hangs on the next squad.
Yeah, I think he's got to be brave now, Heimer, and he's got to, he's got to die on his sword. Basically, I know that sounds ridiculous, early days, and he's just in there now and things, but I think we've got to go and pick a squad. I was a big supporter of, this team's young, this squad's young. We need to have the experience of like Seamus still in there. I don't mind Seamus being in there as a captain. I think he does bring still that.
I think he has to stay in there. I can't drop Seamus.
But Doherty for me, Brady, even, I want to see us kind of die on our swords in a way.
Get them gone.
We've got to get them players out of the squad now. Largely happened a little bit with Duffy out. We've got to trust, if he's going to go with that back three or whatever he's doing defensively, work with them in training. Bringing Festi in, giving the opportunity now. Work that forward line, whatever way you want to pick them, but have them interacting really well. I mean, we'll have Mikey Johnson back in. I think he will offer something a bit different. Cullen coming in there will, undoubtedly
we
for me,
missed him
Dave,
big. We missed him big time
he will
last.
come in and be disciplined in there. He's so experienced in the role. Like he's playing week in, week out when he's fit. Um, he has got that experience. I like the fact the Irish players are saying, we've got to step up now and perform. But we can't be reliant on these people who just continue failing us. They might have had okay careers. I'm not going to ever go for Brady because he undoubtedly will go down as one of our great players for that moment, especially
Yeah,
in Euro 2016. And his quality, and I'm always saddened to talk when I talk about Brady because what he could have been. But like Matt Doherty has consistently failed us now. We can't keep relying on him. A player now who I think's flat as to deceive with his club. Did very well to get that move to Tottenham the time, but still I think found his level. We need to just invest in the future, and I'd rather see that happen, and even fast tracking more of these young lads
yeah,
from the under 21s if we have the opportunity to do so, because I know they've got their qualifying campaign. But
Yeah.
like we need to start putting them players in, put the pressure into them, and see can they develop. And it's very important, as Connor said in the past. We get relegated and here it affects our seedings. It's going to be very difficult to qualify for the next tournaments. But
Well,
these teams do have to step up now. The players have to step up, management have to step up, and I just think we're going very heavy in on Heimer, but I want to hear more from him.
yeah,
That's my point. I think I want to hear more
I,
from
I,
him.
I want to hear more from him. I want to see more from him. What I think needs to happen is, and I was beside myself when I heard that he wasn't going to any games this weekend. I thought, really, he's going to be at home watching Y Scout. Y Scout is a stats software. Players, how many passes, how many miles they've run, that sort of thing. Heat maps, all of that. That's great. That's fantastic. However, as I touched on earlier, you need to be watching a player. I think, you know, you've got a very small amount of time with these players to stay in touch. I think is very good. Even players that are injured and that weren't able to make the last camp, go out to see them, have a chat. Lee Carsley today was at Aston Villa Everton. Everton lost 3-2. Jacob Bryan came on, didn't he? Made his debut,
yeah. He
Premier League
did.
debut. Lee Carsley was there. I think he was sitting with Tyrone Mings, who was injured. But he sat there, having a word, how you getting on, what's going on. I'm still here, getting to know them, getting to know these guys. He's got a very limited window. You can't get that from sitting at home with a laptop watching these guys. I think the whole thing is absolutely mental. And I don't like. Now I know, Connor, you were saying that you don't think that it's that big of a deal. I think it's a
Yeah.
very big deal, but you don't think it is.
No, I in certain contexts is like in the context of say a player that's on the cusp of the squad, we have the likes of Finazaz, Jimmy McGrath, Fest even because he wasn't originally called up. There's as well as there's like you've Sinclair Armstrong, you've Luke McNally. There's more I could say. Even Michael Obafemi. I think the likes of them where you're like him and Han over little things while he makes the squad or not. I think that he should be there to watch them lads. But in terms of coming to watch, I think Darrow Shea, Sammy Smoddix, Nathan Collins, Bennett, lads he knows he's going to pick for the squad no matter what. I think is a big. I don't know whether I think you should still go watch games if you can, but I don't think it's like I have to go to this game no matter what.
But but this is a manager who's turned around and said, I don't really know these players. I don't
Oh,
really
I
know
do.
them.
Yeah, but I think I think
Get to know them.
people. I think people underestimate how at times how good of an application Y Scout actually is. Like Y Scout isn't just like SofaScore where you just look at the stats. You can literally get 90 minutes zoomed in of one player, watching every single action that player has been involved in, defensive actions, whether it's defensive, attacking, off the ball. And I'm not trying to make excuses here, but I'm trying to say it is still valuable what he's doing in a sense that he's.
It is, but you don't get body language though, do you? Like it's not like a little camera on the player. It's just his stats, his running stats, his touches on the ball, his heat map, how many miles he's run, the speed he's run at, that kind of thing. But you're not getting the body language. Like as I said about Darrow Shea, constantly stepping out in the last two games. That's one thing I noticed. Because, your defensive line should always be straight, shouldn't it, off the ball? Should always be straight. And he kept stepping out. There was no cohesion there with the defense. And we saw that, but that's what led to the first goal. No cohesion. The lads didn't know what to do. It's stuff like that. And I think it's going out. And obviously the human touch, going out, talking to these players, having a chat, looking at players that you might be a granny ruler, going out. Jack Charlton drove up and down Britain, Martin, didn't he? Up and down the length and breadth Mick McCarthy did the same thing as well. He got John Aldridge and he got Ray Houghton, 2 for the price of 1 at Oxford. It's just, I understand the stats.
I think the times have evolved in terms of the thing of like, did he discover John Aldridge himself? Was that him going to the club to find out? Was that how it was done? Because I'm sure he's known
Yeah,
in modern
actually.
times, and in modern times, every single player that signs for a club, especially at academy level, they come to the club and they say when they register, they put where their parents and their grandparents are from, and that's how the FAI
Well,
in some cases find out.
well, the stuff. Well, I mean, what happened with Jack Charlton was he went. Well, who was it, Martin? He went to see John Aldridge, was it, or he went to see Ray Houghton? He went to see Ray Houghton,
I
didn't
went
he?
to no, I went to Aldo.
Aldo, and Aldo goes, "Oh yeah, it'd be lovely to play for Ireland."
And my mate can play for them as well.
And did you know that Ray Houghton's granddad's from Donegal? No, he didn't. And then he went and had a chat with him. Do you want?
Bring him too.
Yeah. Do you want to? That's how he
Story.
found out. Do you remember Kieran Clark? How he became, he got found by the Irish. Basically, Richard Dunn was at Aston Villa. He was at Aston Villa at the time of the tournament. Now, Kieran Clark's in a very sketchy time in the green shirt, but it was that he heard the mother speak, and he goes, "Yeah, it's a Dublin accent. That is." He goes, "Yeah," or whatever it was from. And then, "Can your boy play for Ireland?" Yeah, got into the FAI, and that was it. Kieran Clark, I think, was the under-21s or the under-20 captain for England, and he came into Ireland. So, not you going out there talking to these guys, and you got to remember, Conor, he's the same guy that says, "I don't really know them." Fucking go out and talk to them.
This is the thing for me. This is the thing for me. He has to endear himself, Heimer, to the Irish public. Now I know he's done the League of Ireland thing, right? But that's fine. I don't know really what the purpose of that was in a sense, because the FAI are not aligned with the League of Ireland and promoting the game as far as I'm concerned. But it was a thing of, this is a kind of figurehead for the association, so he'll go and open a school or he'll go and do something at a football camp. That's what we've always done. That's fine. I do understand it, but he doesn't know these players, is what he's admitted. He needs to go and work the room with the players. He needs to be at games. Stephen Kenny did it fantastically well. Stephen Kenny did travel to games. He did go and see players. He interacted with players when they were getting on their team buses before they were, and having a quick chat with them. And it just let that player know, it was showing a bit of love, that you're in my thoughts. Thought you played well today. This is something I think you can improve. He can do all that Y Sport stuff and look at analysing someone
on the plane home,
tactically and technically at home. He can watch that all day. He'll surely analyse Darragh O'Shea, for example, stepping out of or getting that tactically wrong, if that's what he believes that's not what he wants them to do, when he's looking back at them games and analysing that with his analysts as well. But I think the interaction with those players is vitally important. Okay,
particularly
he's got to know them as characters. He's got to know them as characters. Yeah. He's got to go and see Matt Torty or say, "What's happening with your club, Matt? Why aren't you playing?" Or, I didn't
really see you around
camp. Like, is there an arrogance about some of these players who know it's their end of their career? They might be on their last professional contract at their club, and the fact of it is, and I'm being a horrible fucker saying this, to be honest, is that a lot of these live off the fact they're international players, and contractually they get more money from their club for that they are an Irish international, and yet really they are in name because they're not performing on the pitch. No. So that's what a lot of them keep going. They love that kind of the kind of status it brings being an international. But did they really give a shite half the time in their performances? It would sell you they don't. I think it was as well. It comes back to just that they've got to kind of step up a little bit as well and think about how they are with the club. Like I'm not going in hard on, I think, on Doherty particularly, but it didn't strike me very well when Doherty and Duffy both took the piss basically on social media after a poor performance. As you know, I'm a Man United fan. It pisses me off when it goes, "Oh, we must go again," and "Oh, we've learned," and all this kind of stuff. I don't want to hear players talk about that on social media. Like, "Oh, we work hard. We're sorry we let you down." Yeah. That's shite. I want to see it on the performance on the pitch, and even just acknowledging the fans different ways and their interaction with them. All that. Basically, I felt they were taking the piss out of the Irish fans the last time, and they're going to get criticism for that. But it is a bit doom and gloom. All the outcome of the game and all the analysis is a bit doom and gloom. I think it is over the top because I think we have got players, and I think we've just got to invest in them, and get the coaching right with them, and the interaction with them.
Here's a question: the whole thing with Heimer, whatever you pronounce his name, going out to games or not going out to games. Do you think is that a manager decision? And I'm not trying to stir shit. Do you think that's a directive that's come down from the FAI to say
no way?
You don't think so? Money, cost cutting?
Sure, how much
not
is a
best
flight? We know ourselves. How much is a flight to the UK? Most of the time, you get a flight for. I've got flights to Liverpool before for literally €10. Like
Yeah.
it's not a money thing. These lads get into these games for free through connections they have.
Fair
So
point.
it's not a money thing at all. Like it's definitely not a money thing. Like I want to just say something more because I've took a lot of positives from today's action of football and last night. Like last night, I don't know if anyone watched. It's nothing to do because it won't affect the national team. But I watched one of the best performances I've seen in League of Ireland in the last couple of years. Jack Byrne was absolutely outrageous last night for Shamrock Rovers against Sligo Rovers. Absolutely ran the show. But and the thing is, like we can see that, like the fact that's not on television every single week, players of that quality playing. Like there's so many quality players at home, which would help drive the engagement in the league, which I thought was like the match last night. Some of the football, even played by Sligo at times, was exceptional. It was wonderful one touch football played by both teams, and there was a couple of goals to a couple of mistakes for a couple of goals, but that's what you're going to get at that level. If you go to watch League One matches in England, people act like it's some superior, so much better. What you see that happen every single week. So I just want to say, but then today, when I watch games today, I went in today thinking when I seen Will Smallbone was on the bench, I was thinking, oh, here we go, Irish players coming back. No, they're not even going to struggle at club level. But then when I seen the hamstring injury, and then I got to the 3 o'clock games, or even the 12:30 games, we had Tom Cannon made his first start for Stoke. It was debut, in fact. Andy Moran didn't start, obviously, because he was away for a couple of weeks, and then he came on after half an hour. Like that's a positive. Two young lads playing against Tyler Goodrum as well. I know he's ruled himself out at the moment because of family stuff, but like that's 3 young Irish players playing in a very high quality championship game. Then we got to 3 o'clock. We had Festi and Rocco Vata making their debuts for Watford. With Sinclair playing, came on at half time, and he played very well. Jason Knight looked a bit off it, to be honest, but like Adam Edis scored, but it was disallowed. It wasn't. Someone was offside in the build-up. Ferguson came on, looked sharp, almost scored from 25 yards. Like with Teo Daramola made his debut for Stockport, looked very, from all accounts, he looked very, very bright. He's a player I think we should draft into the senior squad right now because of the lack of options at left back, unless Dennis Sirkin.
He was Crystal Palace, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's on loan. He was, from far as I know, he was offered the chance to be the second option as left wing back at Palace this season and basically be a sub, what Franco Uma is doing at the moment, which is great to see. He was on the bench for Palace today, but Teo wanted to go out and play, and Stockport are doing. It seem like they've gone straight up from League Two to League One, and looks like they're going to be fighting promotion. And he hasn't played all season. He got injured in pre-season, and they brought him straight in today, and looked very bright by all accounts. Like he's the type of left back. A lot of people mightn't have seen him play, but he's athletic, fast, takes people on, can cross the ball, and can recover very well defensively. Like I took a lot of positives from watching Irish lads. That even Mark Travers played 90. I know it was because of Kepa not playing, but he played 90 minutes for Bournemouth today, and then obviously Troy Parrott scoring 4. So I took a lot of positives today, thinking, yeah, we have the young lads. It's about breeding them in now at the right time, getting rid of these older heads, and like the likes of Teo Darmola. Why people go, oh, he's League One? Why would you pick a League One player? Why not? If you're not say you're going to have Callum O'Dowd, I don't want to say because Mark Prendy might be pissed off, but say Callum O'Dowd is the backup. Did he play 0? He played 0 minutes, didn't he?
Callum.
Yeah.
Why
not have
minutes? Not even given an opportunity. No.
I know Teo didn't would have been starting for the 21s if he was fit, but why not have him in that role? That even if he impresses training, why he'll get a couple of minutes. So like even the likes of Boston now, I think he shouldn't come back into the 21s again. I think he's shown now that he should come straight into the senior squad, even though he's still out injured. I think it could be a couple more weeks. I think that could rule him out of the next starting squad. But like I don't even know if there's a need to bring him back in the 21s because he's plays as centre half of the 21s the whole time. So he hasn't really. The 21s haven't lost that much because of him, because the centre backs are already very strong, and they need to bring someone through in midfield. So I think get Boston into the senior midfield. Like I don't see. Go on ahead.
You've just given a load of names there. You have.
But the problem is not much people watch. I don't want to say it, but it's the fact is I watch so much football that
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, oh, we don't have a left back. Well, you have to. Well, okay, let's get this lad in from the under-21s. I watched him a few times. Teo, for the under-21s, he does look classy. I do like him. Now, obviously, it's under-21s football, but you're watching him closely. I'm thinking, take a chance. Take a chance. Like
we do have players.
Festi-
Like, without doubt, we have players. We do have it, but but again, and I think that's where you have to keep the faith. And you're hearing from pundits and stuff like I'm listen to this name drop on the floor. But I was chatting to Ray Houghton the other day at the airport. Right, picked that off the floor.
Wins. Football
right?
wins.
But no, we went through the like just talk about the squad. And to be fair, I who was I? I think it might have been you, Dave. I said, just the fact chatting to you, Connor, on this, I was giving you a lot of praise, saying even our conversation, I know more about Irish players. Hopefully, our listeners are feeling the same. And make sure you do subscribe and follow the pod. We haven't said that for a while because you will learn an awful lot about these players and what they're doing week in, week out. You do put an awful lot of time into it, Connor, of following it, and people will think, Jesus, you must be mad, but the knowledge is there, as we've said. But like chatting, I knew a lot more about players and chatting away to Ray Houghton. But he was very honest. He was telling me his views. Like he was probably a bit of a pundit, very honest, that he probably never say it on commentary. But he's going, nah, he's finished now. His legs are gone. You can make up your own mind who he's talking about there. But he was saying about it's all fine having these under 21s who are doing well, but they've got to be playing for their clubs and they've got to be able to step up. And are they there? Are they going to be able to perform at that level?
Can I throw in another name there that I think we should be looking to promote? Luca Connell is with Barnsley, captain of Barnsley. I know people go, "Oh, League One." The thing is, I seen they were looking 6, 7, 8 million to get him gone. So, like if clubs are looking for that much money for a lad, especially, I'm being totally honest here, not biased here. He is the best player in League One, and if you are the best player in League One, funny enough, you are probably a top 6 standard player in the Championship. People go on about if you put him into a top 6, it was the same with loads of lads you see in League One. They make the step up, play with better players around them. Like I've seen that fella play loads of times. Unbelievable left foot, holding midfielder, which we had a grand total of 0 in the last squad. We had 0 number 6s in the last squad, which shows, I don't know what it shows. Like, if we're not going to have a backup to Josh Cullen in the squad, fair enough. That's a bit of a worry for me. But the fact is, when Josh Cullen's not there, you call up no number 6. I don't think, we don't want League One players. But if Luca Connell, I think, could play for basically any team in the Championship as their number 6, maybe bar Leeds with Ampadu and Burnley with Cullen. But why not bring him into the squad again and see what he... I know I think is see what he do. I think that sometimes is a bad attitude because they should be watching these lads every week. But he's captain of Barnsley. He is a quality footballer. I think we should be having him in the squad.
And also, if he does, let's say they pick him against Finland, he has a good game against Finland, that could seal a move for him to a Championship club. He's international. The boy can do it. It's very important. I think I mean, you're talking a lot of sense there, Connor. Like a lot of players, not names coming out. We have to take a risk with some of these guys because we don't have a left back. But that was the problem. Oh, we don't have any midfielders. Oh, we'll pick 5. And we'll go top heavy on the wing backs and play a system that doesn't work. I'm going to stop banging on about that. I think one major problem as well, lads, is that, and this is the problem what the FAI did in taking ages to appoint a manager, is that the Nations League. I love the Nations League. She's a harsh mistress. There's no hiding. You are where you are in the Nations League, and the new manager. This is why the new manager could desperately need playing a couple of teams like Liechtenstein, I love saying that, or San Marino, or somebody, or San Marino. They've won more recently than we have, and just to get the confidence up, see what these boys can do. We have to experiment. We have to throw out some of the older names. We know who they are. I don't want to keep picking on them, and then bring these lads in like Teo, like Luca Connell. Give them a go. Why not freshen it up?
Yeah.
And Kenny should have done it.
They're going to show pride in the jersey when they're playing as well. That's the thing. These lads are trying to impress. They're trying to take their career to the next level. They'll give everything in training and in matches to show their next level. And also, I think it's a bit of a myth, this thing about getting relegated and playing lower teams. Like, people need to understand, it is the luck you can get through Nations League by even finishing third. People think, oh, we want to finish fourth, we want to get relegated, or we want to get relegated from the playoff. If you finish third in the Nations League and win your playoff, the relegation one, or even finish second, that can actually get us a playoff for the World Cup. And people go, oh, why would you want? Will we lose and get the World Cup bars? So people are trying to say we don't want to see Ireland in a World Cup in 2026, or we get to a playoff and we play, say, the semi-finals against. I don't remember. Wales got to did they beat? Was it they beat Bosnia? But the World Cup they qualified.
Belgium.
They beat No, but the World Cup they qualified to the last World Cup through.
Oh yeah, sorry.
They beat They beat Bosnia and they beat, was it Austria? They beat at home, Austria or Ukraine. Like, imagine we had a World Cup playoff semi-final or final in Dublin. Like, people need to understand, getting relegated is just a weak mentality option, in my opinion. I know we win a couple of games, in this Nations League, we jinx second or we get third. And could you imagine? We got a playoff for the World Cup? Do you think that's something to build on? Even we got the playoff for the World Cup, we lose in the final to say Austria, who are a very good side, and we think, well, we have the young players. Heimer's building something here. We'll go again. Euro 2028, we'll be there. I think this thing of getting relegated and playing as teams that are Liechtenstein, Andorra, whatever they are, Montenegro, these teams, and much as people, they are below our standard of player level. So we should be still trying to compete at this level. I totally disagree with this thing of playing against weaker opposition, because we'll get that in the group stage. We'll get that in the group stage.
What I mean is, about like weaker opposition for me would be just get a bit of confidence, like friendly games, like just look, play weaker. Jack used to do that. Just play the weaker opposition, build confidence up. This is what I want to do, and then you take that confidence into the bigger teams, because like
the Portugal game in June should have been against a weaker opposition. And like I don't understand why would we go play. I know the thing of playing Belgium and Switzerland at home to raise a bit of funds, which I don't want. I'm nothing against, but when we're going away, why can't we play Gibraltar? Or why can't we play I don't know, Montenegro, like someone like
something like that?
Yeah, I know the players won't be as up for it as going to play in Portugal away, but who cares if we get a win? Gets a couple of lads, say Adam Eda would have got a goal for Ireland, Troy Parrott would have got a goal. Like, even Jake O'Brien started that. Well, imagine he got his first international. The benefit that can give to a younger lad is unbelievable.
Well, that's where Kenny went wrong, wasn't it? In November 2022, he didn't pick. He picked the senior squad to play against Norway and Malta. The World Cup started. It's like, why are you picking a senior squad for? This is where you need to experiment. This is what
he brought up Ferguson, wasn't it?
No, but just the only thing I'd say about playing Portugal, I think it was a mistake there, and it was for the kind of glory of playing against Ronaldo, I think, and that would
for his last game.
Yeah, and the players, certainly kind of some of them, are all anyone who posted a photo from that game, they made sure they're in the image with Ronaldo in the background or challenging him or whatever it was on their social media afterwards. But it's a shame that the Nations League, I like it. I think it's a good competition. But it does impact on the friendlies that you can arrange, and even trying to get a time with a training camp, and that's something I would actually look at. Heimer, I know financially, obviously, there's constraints with the FAI, but these associations, most of our players are in England. The associations can do a lot of work. Like they in the past they've had training camps where they've met up in England, and the managers got across their ideas and things to the team. That's something that we should be doing probably at St George's Park in England, in the Midlands there, because that's what I think. I was disappointed to probably see that he brought in a 23-man squad. He's probably never met Mikey Johnson. You're reliant on the coaching staff in the background and their relationship with them from the previous kind of camps and things like that, like John O'Shea, what he's talking about them. But Heimer has to know them. He's got to learn their characters. Can I trust this player? And I think that's something that we should be looking to do.
I suggested.
I think
I suggested that actually, because obviously the defense has a serious problem. The next game, they're all competitive games now to the end of the year. And what I would have done was I would have got the defenders and said, right, let's meet for a camp, George's Park, not a non-contact, like drills, not really like not like contact training or anything like that, and even just sit down and go, lads, look, we have a problem here. We keep conceding these goals. I don't want to keep digging people out individually, but it's a collective. It is a collective problem. You keep standing back. I'm going back. Who's going to take the lead here? And that happens constantly. And just basically sit down and go, look, somebody take the lead, right? Collins, you take the lead. Just something. Just you make sure you go out there, you press down, lads. We're aggressive. No, I do not want to see anybody standing off or going back. You fucking go and you close them down. And you just drill it into them. You just get you get one of the coaches to just hit balls in, and then you get them until they get the message. You spend a few hours there. That's something along those lines. That's what I would do. Just if we stop conceding stupid goals, we were on top in that game against. Sorry to cut you off. We were on top of that game against Greece until we conceded that stupid goal, and then the whole thing fell apart after that.
Yeah, I mean that's the fine margins of it though as well. You got to remember that. But I think that it's the contact time with these players is very important, and knowing them, knowing their character, that was important. I think there's an over reliance on John O'Shea, Paddy McCarthy, of course, with that. But they're professional footballers. They're used to how they get that information is through kind of it has a very short time attention span, and it's stuff that they're used to getting these tactical packs, and this is how we play. It's a bit different to you've got to drill it into them on the training ground, and we didn't have the time to do that, is what I would think. Let's not forget, like there's snakes in that Ireland squad, right? I'm gonna say it, right? And I know that sounds very negative, and that's not me. But there are though, because John O'Shea, the last camp, he had players and they were digging him out that we've done too much training or not enough. So there was that shite is going on in that camp. There is people undermining that. They're not all on the same path, right? And I can look at the players who didn't play the last time, who are, which I think they should have. Outrageous that Troy Parrott got no minutes in that last camp. Ridiculous. He's gone away now and done that. And I know I've spoken to you off camera, and I said, I did see him the other night. I wished him all the best when he went back to the Netherlands. Knew he'd go and do that, Dave, after my motivational chat. It just shows you what I can do. But he scored 4 goals tonight.
Before he called security, that was Mark, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolute criminal though that he wasn't given any chances in that game. He's been doing all right in Netherlands. We know. Like, I know he might be trying to do something different, Callum Robinson. But he's flattered to deceive. He's another one. Obafemi for me now. We've got too many strikers who come in, have a little moment, and they're immediate now that we've got to go with them. Whereas I would say the likes of Ogbene has been more consistent recently. Ferguson, we know his talent is going to be long term. I think Will Smallbone's starting to deliver for us. Jason Knight again has been messed around. Mikey Johnson offers something different pace wise, but we are finding out some of these players are struggling for us. And I can't see that. That's what, going back to the point as well of the next squad. We've got to move on from that. We've got to be risky. Go for these 2 games to get a good result in Finland. Yeah. And then Greece try and get something as well, because we're not out of the group, and it's important where we finish in it, of course. But I just kind of want to.
Definitely not out of the group.
You have to give a bit of fresh impetus to the supporters as well. Am I going to get behind this team? People will turn and they'll just go, why am I coming to watch Matt Doherty playing? Like these guys have failed us consistently. They're not delivering. They're not even playing for their clubs anymore. Why the hell are we playing with them? So people's knowledge of players, thanks to you, Conor, is improving massively. And we need to support and give opportunities to these players. And how the FAI get into meeting them is so important, I think, for Hyman to go out and do that and not just being reliant on.
I do think we need to say though that we don't actually know what he's actually doing. Another thing of not going to matches, so we don't actually know whether he's going during the week speaking to these lads, or whether he's on the phone to these lads. He's on the phone to someone, 2 or 3 players a day. We just don't know. But we're fans. We're meant to make the assumption that.
But then I want to hear from the FAI. I'd like to hear from the FAI saying that that's a question being asked. They've not sat in front of them. I want to hear more from Mark Canham. I know the AGM was today, the FAI, and they're saying, well, look, they're going to answer questions about how again, this is the fuck ups we have in the FAI, right? How has he been given a promotion within the association that was sent out via an internal memo and not made public, when it's public money basically paying his wages? We're asked to invest in the pathway of Mark Canham and his idea, and yet we can't engage with him. I want to hear him as a personal, approachable person that is engaging with fans, talking about it, going to football schools, talking about promoting the game in Ireland. I want to hear that from him because we're investing in him. I want to hear from David Carell, the interim CEO, if he's, why should we ask for money? Like, they're doing their AGM chats today. Paul Cook, the president's there talking, and he's saying, lobby all the candidates for the next election because we're going to be asking them for more money. We're a long way from getting them money because, again, the trust issues. But, we should be, there should be a massive PR narrative and switch in this from the FAI. Like, people are disillusioned with the FAI. They've got no trust in them. You hear people saying things like we should be disbanding it. This has gone to pot. It's awful. Why are you going to buy tickets? Why are you going to go to games? Why are you going to buy shirts? You can't buy shirts. that's another story. But you're just pissed off all the time, aren't you? Like, it's not an enjoyable experience being an Ireland fan. It's not enjoyable going to matches. You're not being entertained on the field, on the pitch now. What you're seeing. So why are we doing it? Like that's it.
Here's one. Can you actually buy an official Ireland baby kit?
Have you? Yeah,
I'd
you can.
imagine so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You can.
You can. Why are you asking that question? Jesus, Dave, what you been up to?
No, I actually met my baby nephew today for the first time.
You can, Dave. I'll tell you a story about this because I was trying to get one,
Good.
and yeah, you can't get it in Dublin. I had people all over Dublin. I was asking lots of friends of people. Oh, if you're near a sports shop, can't get it. Got it online. I've got one recently for someone, and yeah, you can get it. JD Sports sell them. But you can't get half the stuff. You go into. I went into. That's another kind of conversation. I know that I'm quite passionate about the kits. As you know, went into Elvery's. You're limited with sizes. I'm an Ireland fan going over there with my son for an Ireland match. I would have brought him loads of the merchandise because you can't get it in England. You'd buy in the tracksuit top. You spend a few bob there basically. I got him a tracksuit bottom and the Ireland shirt because nothing else was in his size. And that's out of the range of our new stuff.
Would you say that's a FAI fault? Is it a Castore fault?
It's a Castore fault, but it's again, like, this is what's not made a big deal of this. Again, I'm going to go back to my conversation with Ray Houghton. Ray Houghton didn't know, and it's not knocking Ray Houghton, but Ray, when we were talking about kits and shirts and Castore, we were just having a general chat about that, and with another guy there, and he said, "Oh, like, don't they even sell that in the shop at the stadium?" I went, "There is no shop at the stadium. There's not been one for years. Like, we can't
it's closed,
get anything."
isn't it?
Yeah, it's been closed
It's
for
a
years.
storeroom.
So we can't. You can't get stuff. Like, there is a Castore problem. Don't get into bed with Castore. They would have took the money from them. We took the money from Sky sponsorship because we can't be choosy enough to turn them down. So you can't get kits. No, you can't get half the stuff. Like,
It's
an
ridiculous.
absolute joke.
It's ridiculous. Like the Irish diaspora all over the world, all over London. It's incredible. Right, lads, we're gonna move it on to the comments. We've gone a little bit over.
Sorry for ranting, lads.
No, listen, and you know what? We hope you're enjoying it at home. This is what we do. If this is your first time watching the window review, like, as you can see, there's no we have points, we have minute. We're quite organized, although you wouldn't think it sometimes. But we just come on here and we just rant, and then we give you an opportunity to rant, and we go through your comments. We see your comments coming in there. So thank you to the 1,600 people currently watching us live, which is brilliant, amazing, guys. So thank you so much. Lads, shall we do it? Shall we crack on with the comments? Are we ready for some comments? Are we ready to hear from the Roar faithful? They've listened to us for long enough, chaps. Shall we listen to them?
Yep. Let's go.
Right, let's do it. Right, first up, loads of comments coming in. We are live, remember, on 2 Twitter channels, Conor, YouTube, and Facebook.
Blame Twitter. It used the wrong bank details. Don't worry.
There you go. Professionals here, folks. But we will. We are going to be live here for the next few minutes. We're going to get through those comments, so keep them coming in. Ask us what you want. What do you think of the squad? What do you think of October? Is the next squad the most important squad, do you feel? Are you happy with the manager? Are you happy with the FAI? Mark Canham promotion. A few questions have been asked about that. What you make? Troy Part, 4 goals today. Why didn't he get any minutes during the week? So keep them coming in. We're going to get to those. First one up. This one is for Martin. Dave McGoldrick enthusiast. Troy Parr scoring 4 goals tonight and can't even get a sub appearance of the last 2 games. Shocking. It is shocking, isn't it? Daryl O'Connor, how you doing, Daryl? I was going to say what McGoldrick enthusiast said. Scored 4 goals. I didn't get a sniff in either games. I'd have played him over Ferguson anyway. Can we, honest to God, get anything right? That's not having a go at Evan Ferguson. Obviously, he's just not fit. He wasn't fit.
He didn't look fit tonight when he came on. He looked a bit bad. He looked decent when he came on. He played with 8 minutes, 9 minutes in total today, but he actually looked sharp enough for Brighton, which was an improvement to see.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's it. It's match fit, isn't it? Ree McLaughlin, wow, Parrott, that's a shame. Obviously, alluding to his 4 goals tonight and not getting a sniff over the weekend, over the last window. Daryl O'Connor, also HH. a timer, saying he won't go and watch Irish players abroad. He's making it very hard on himself. We have to support him, and I won't judge him after 2 games, but watch the players for fuck's sakes. That's the thing, isn't it? It's the optics, isn't it, Martin? Like we all want Heimer to do well. I want him to do well. I want him to be able to say, oh, if we ever do get to meet him, we go, oh, you're the bloke from the thing. You got that wrong, didn't you? I go, you know what? I did. Fair play to you.
I mean,
And
I'm
then
all for transparency with it, Dave. But why is it even a question if he goes to games or not? It's because evidently he's not. Because we didn't know where Stephen Kenny was every day of the week. But I think it's important for your manager. If your players are playing in a different league, you've got to go and watch them. And even Troy Parrott. I'm not saying you need to be over there going to, jolly up in the Netherlands every other weekend. For other reasons, Dave, because you really enjoyed Amsterdam, didn't you?
yes.
But I'm just saying, like, you have to engage and be in contact with them, and to kind of show them a little bit of love. And yeah, look, you're in on my thoughts. Oh, really well done. Now, you'd hope after his goals tonight, there's a message going out there when well done, Troy, because I've seen it around the team hotel before. I've seen Packy Bonner engaging with the lads, saying, go and do this now and do that, and having a chat with Evan. And you're thinking, wow, that's Packy Bonner chatting to him. He must. How does that feel? You do need that psychologically. That's important now. That mental health kind of stuff and giving people a boost is very, very important. And we're at a low ebb, so I think we need that.
Very much arm around the shoulder. No, I did enjoy Amsterdam. And Connor, when you grow up, you can go to Amsterdam too. Darla Connor. And is it just an Irish thing to play players at it? We love Connor, don't we? And we love Darla Connor as well. Is it just an Irish thing to play players out of position? Sammy should be playing behind a striker, but sure, go on, stick him up front as a 9 for the laugh. They did change it mid-game, but Jesus, what you've touched on there, yourself, Connor, isn't it? Just square pegs and round holes.
Oh. Painful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. He's still smarting over my Amsterdam jibe. James Byrne, the FAI should be disbanded. They're more concerned lining the pockets than improving the state of Irish football. There we go. It's the first one about the FAI being disbanded tonight. Darrell Connor again, 6 points off the Finns. It's a must. I don't care. I think anyone cancelling the trips is ridiculous and are only fair by the supporters. But I do acknowledge how low we are. Can't get worse, can it? Oh, it can always get worse, Darrell. It's okay. It can always get worse.
McCarthy famously said that, didn't he, at Ipswich? You've lost 10 in a row. Can I get worse? Yeah.
It
Losing
can.
7.
It can. Yeah, look, it's not for me. I'm not here to criticize. People have their own reasons for not being able to go on trips. We would go anyway. We love it. If I wasn't doing this podcast with you chaps, I'd be going anyway. I have a season ticket, which I don't get to use, but there you go. I love it. I do my bit. I just, to be honest, Darrell, it just feels like a managed decline. Like, this is not the worst collection of Irish players I've ever seen. It's not. It is not. There's some good players in there. A bit of diligent coaching, organization, a bit of shape, nice and basic, and then build from that. Get a few granny rulers in. There's a few quality lads that are on the cut at the under 21s, and you know what? A couple of performances for the national team, and a couple of friendlies, or maybe against Finland away or whatever, might get in that move. Might actually, you go, oh, we've unearthed something there, but you're not going to know unless you try it. And we haven't been trying it. We've been using the same players over and over again. Kenny talked about the Great Revolution. He brought some players through, but I think Hendrick and Harahan were the only ones. I think actually Nick said that off camera, didn't he? He said that the only ones he can remember being bombed out of the squad, really, other than McLean. It was McLean.
You have like Darrell Horgan and like Kieran Clark and lads like that. But there was a big upturn, but it was in terms of regular starters, yeah.
Yeah. But like you still have some like Doherty, Brady, and some of these guys.
But I don't think we should, in terms of like, I know people, it's about getting the young lads. We shouldn't tear up the under 21 team. I think a priority should still be the 21s qualifying. I still think Andy Moore. I still think Andy Moore should be kept in the 21s. I still think Sinclair should be kept there for now. I still think the vast majority. I think it's the only ones I would bring up for the next camp would be Theodore Mola and Boston Lowell if Boston is fit. Because there's more than enough in that last camp there. I know they fucked up against Latvia, but there was more than enough to beat Norway, at least guarantee a playoff, and go with Italy and maybe get something, maybe get a win. But I just think maybe if we're going to bring maybe 2 up the next camp. That's it.
Yeah, no, I agree there. Like, you don't want to tear a party on the 21s, but because we have no left back, so sorry, we're gonna take him. Oh, and we need Boston Lawal as well. Sorry, mate, but yeah, I do agree there. Shane Brown, hi lads, not disillusioned at all. Oh, it's a bit like you, Martin. Disappointed for sure, but there are positives that can be tapped into. Chio and Sammy, real attacking threats. Brady and Doherty out. Manager now needs to step up and put a stamp on it. Basic errors need to be addressed, though, killing us. Agreed. Sorsha Morrissey, how you doing, Sorsha? What is the point of HH? This was John O'Shea's win, though. I don't think John O'Shea would want to admit to that, Martin, would he?
No, that's
He
not the case
took
at all.
that very offensively at that presser, didn't he?
He did. He's like, why are you asking me about this? Because you are sitting here and Hamer isn't. David McCullough enthusiast. It's coming up to 100 days since Hamer was being appointed. Surely by now he's able to know what our top players are about. What happened with the League of Ireland team? Bollocks. That was a cost, lads, was it?
We still don't know, but it wouldn't be
yeah.
happening yet anyway. If it does happen, it wouldn't be till January time anyway. So I think we can relax on it either way.
Yeah. Shane Brown, one observation: players need to seriously consider their body language. Kelleher slouching and presser. I watched subs warming up at half time of Greece game. Scales, Doherty, Ferguson taking the piss, juggling a ball in a rondo and having a laugh. Wake up, for fuck's sake, show some intent. Martin, that's something you touched on. And actually, I was having a conversation with one of my real friends, Martin, of the I always get loads of complaints saying you need to leave Martin alone. We love each other. And Conor, I'm starting to warm to you. I let you sit next to me at the matches, so that's something.
Social distancing though.
Yeah, I keep a bag in between us. I don't get too fucking close to you. But the body language, isn't it? I think I never thought I'd say this about an Irish team. I think there's a real attitude problem with some of these players. I'm not necessarily some of the players that
You're gonna come back to the same person again. Who has the ego?
well, yeah, but it's true, though, isn't it? Like some of these lads like do have. You look at them and go, like, you don't care. You just don't care, do you? It's not just
I think Kelleher can be excused because from I've spoken to, I've heard from someone that has seen Kelleher since play for Ireland since under 19 level, and his attitude is he's just the most laid back character ever. And
no.
When you look at him, you wouldn't even think he's a footballer. Never mind the goalkeeper. So I think with Kelleher, I think that's the way Kelleher is, and you can't change the way he is. And
no, I agree with that.
We can't criticize Kelleher. He's our best player at the moment by far.
No, I agree with that. Like I've never met Queeving Kelleher, but I have heard that he's just so relaxed. So I wasn't actually having a dig at him.
No, but what I would say is just about the interaction with the squad and stuff. You've seen it, and you've seen little kind of groups and cliques or whatever it is. I don't know. I'd like to see it a bit more and understand that. But just back to the Doherty thing, and I know Stephen Kelly called him out, and I've heard that Collins he had words. Maybe he was the captain, wasn't he, for the game the other day?
Apparently had a massive row afterwards.
Yeah, but you want someone calling people out, like but I want to see that little bit on the pitch. I want to see people calling each other out there, because that wouldn't happen back in Roy's day. He was you have to have people demanding of others, and not be afraid to have a go at people. And I think that's professional football at the end of the day. And if you're slacking, as he evidently was there, and it cost us a goal, you've got to call that out. And I think what you will say, I think you'll see people, I think, in the next year as well. Some of these players as well, they come to a lot of, they're on the periphery of the squad, but they're in the squad, but they're never given game time. I think you'll see a few of them fade out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised though, Dowder, carrying injuries and stuff. He's probably got to think in a few years, over the next couple of years, he's got to be thinking about the long term of his club career, rather than internationally, but he's never going to get an opportunity. That's just the way some of these have to think about it now. And I go back to Parrott. I think it's fucking outrageous that he didn't get any minutes. I mean,
I think it's
just on a player that was so important to us in Glasgow at the time, and he had an opportunity to win it, and he was our starting man at one stage. He's scored key goals for us as well, and he's not been given an opportunity.
And I think the same with Obafemi. I know Martin said about Obafemi's in night, but I think that's just the way he is injury wise. But Obafemi is so talented, and I know that if you give Obafemi a chance in front of goal, or he goes through a running patch, he is so much better at his best, I think, than the likes of Callum Robinson is at his best. That we have. even if I think, there is competition for places now. There is a lot more than what there was. I think we've the best strike force in terms of 6, 7 men or even 10 men. Our top 10 strikers are way stronger than they've been. I'd say in maybe what would you say 15 years. I'd say easily, and like I think it is in terms of having tens players at a decent level that are actually you can say, yeah, we can. If they had to play that game, I trust them. But I think no, I just think the power thing was highlighted. Like the fact he went and scored 4 goals. Just I know we can go saying, oh, he hadn't scored in the league before that, but the fact is he was playing well in the league. The AZ Alkmaar fans were absolutely loving him. He was a fan favorite. You don't do that by just turning up and playing crap and not scoring. He obviously was playing well. He was impacting games. So, and then tonight is just he was reaping the rewards of his all-around play.
Yeah, no, I agree there.
To be fair, though, you can be a fan. Sorry, Dave. You can be a fan favorite for Ireland, just scoring once in your career as a striker and be loved.
But you know how you become a fan favorite? You offer everything, a bit like what Troy Parrott has done, isn't it? Dave, he offers something to the game, gives everything to the team, links up well, offers, runs in behind, holds the ball up. Well, that's what Troy Parrott was doing.
Bit like this fella here, Dave McGoldrick. What amazing timing! Yeah. No, I do agree there. This team, there's enough there to qualify. These players are good enough to qualify. I'm not saying they're going to win things, but definitely better than what we are, what we're showing here. Dave McGoldrick, enthusiast. Bet he hasn't even explored the granny rule at all. I don't know. He got Casey McAteer in it.
I'd say he has. Sure, you'd be reflecting on the camp and you'd be going through positions, who struggled, where we need to improve, and you'd be going, who can we recruit in this position? I think to say that he hasn't at all is. I don't think I know he's getting a lot of abuse, but I think he's not a stupid fella.
No. He does strike me as very intelligent. I mean, he's not wrong what he said about the Ireland players. It's his application. His application worries me, not what he's saying. Kevin O, HH said he's not going to any games as he will be tracking the players on Y Scouts. John Mucky and Paki Bonner re-elected. FAI AGM. Corral says the FAI is doing pretty well. FAI up to no good. A clear out is needed both squad and management.
The fact is, but if the FAI let Dundalk go bust, it's an absolute disgrace. I don't care what anyone says. If they let one of the biggest clubs in Ireland have done so much for club football in Ireland, the work that has been done, whether it's in Europe through Stephen Kenny, the player, if they go bust, it's an absolute disgrace on the FAI. The FAI at the end of the day, they have to sign off for someone to buy the club, and they let that clown Brian Ainscough, whatever you call him, living in America, buy the club. So at the end of the day, the FAI, you have to take blame. And if they let that club go bust, it's an absolute embarrassment, and it's on the FAI.
And a passion plea there from Conor. Darla Conor, HH make himself hard to love. I'll never have what I had with Kenny with HH. Yeah, this is you and Conor. Saoirse Morrissey, what do you think of Mark Canham's secret promotion, Martin? Quickly.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, and I want to hear from the FAI talking about it and give an explanation. And I want to hear from him about how, 3 or 4 months in now, new managers there. What's he thinking? How's it going? Are we online for the pathway? Where are we with it? I want to hear a bit of an update from the FAI on what they're doing in the background.
Just a little bit from the Irish Independent, Aidan Fitzmaurice. Where was it? The FAI board will be grilled by delegates at today's AGM on the background to the hiring of Heimer Hallgrimsson as new manager of the senior men's international team, as well as recent promotion for the man who oversaw the process, Mark Canham. So they're going to be asked questions about that.
Was Mark Canham speaking at the AGM today? Anyway, I haven't caught up on anything on it.
Just watching football. It would have been Paul Cook and David Carell.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine the Sundays will have a lot more. Probably when we go off air here, probably like breaking news story, as it always happens to Martin and myself. But obviously, we'll keep you guys up to date on that. David Walsh, 4-4-2 lads. We need 2 strikers on the pitch. Back to basics, David Walsh. That's what I said. Shane Brown, I doubt it, would have been a much better option against Greece. Amount of times O'Shea, Collins, and Malumbi coming out from deep, looking to play a left back in behind, only to see Brady stuck to the line to get it. Stop and play it back. Jesus. John Mucky and Cannon rewarded for not packing it in. Darla Conor, we first conceded goals inside the box in March 2021, beat Serbia and Luxembourg. How the fuck is this still a problem? What happens in training and in these tactical decisions? Shocking. That's what we've been saying, Darryl, on here. We're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Irish fans aren't stupid. We know, and this is the frustration with the new manager is that we're making the same mistakes. We're conceding the same type of goal. Blue and gold. Hayden in blue and gold. Coleman is done. Brady is stealing caps. Doherty is not interested. John Muckian would prefer Dowda over Brady. A lot of love coming for your boy here, Martin.
Tony Wright, but good judge of character, good judge of a player.
Yeah, there we go. John Muckian looked good today. Good passing. Saw the game.
Who's he on about?
Who are you on about, John? Are you on about Callum? Never played, did he?
No, he would have been probably one of the games I was on about.
That's probably why he had such a very good game. Actually, he was sitting on the bench.
Maybe it was. Maybe it might have been Darrow Shea, maybe, or someone. I can't think.
To be fair, it's from an hour back. Kevin, a recommended video came up on my YouTube of HH being interviewed on his appointment as Jamaican coach. Basically, the carbon copy of the guff he has been saying so far with Ireland, and Kevin agrees. The next window is so crucial. Yeah, especially the squad. Dave McGoldrick enthusiast. We had Alma Bombadeli overlapping Ogbeni in that Greece game multiple times. No way he came up with that idea on his own. John O'Shea is clueless. Jesus.
Yeah, just to come in there though, and that he was in good positions and the crossing, but it was awful crossing. We couldn't beat the first man.
And Ogbeni refuses to cross the ball, which is annoying at times.
Yeah. That's there was one in the second half, wasn't there, where Ogbeni's on the wing. You think cross it, wouldn't cross it, tucks in, gets overlapped. It was actually an underlap, wasn't it, by Bombadeli. He just sort of he went out back onto the wing. And he played in Omo Bombadeli, and he hit in a terrible cross. And I don't blame Omo because he's a centre back. Ogbeni's a winger. he plays as wing back.
I'm surprised though the cross was so bad because Omo Bombadeli actually is technically very good on the ball, but
he's centre back who's a professional footballer and he can't cross the ball.
Yeah, but he can. I think it was just one cross and tired legs in the moment, but but you do expect better of him.
I know, but to be fair to him. I'm sure if the ball's in front of him, he can strike it, but it's in that moment, it's in that movement. He's not used to overlapping, going out in the wing across the ball.
Yeah, he's not practicing it every day.
No, yeah. So Martin, pipe down, back in your box, leave Andrew.
When they're doing their crossing drills and training, and he's in the box defending, not on the wing crossing in.
Still, you don't do that. I would rotate them.
Yeah, it should be better than that. But
and who's the coach, Martin?
That's me as a coach. I'm saying me as a coach, my coaching philosophy, when I do my sessions, I have P players rotating no matter where they play. They all contribute because you don't know in a match, do you, where you're going to be? Well, he could be it. That's just a basic of coaching for me, to be honest. But put the photo up of me and John. That was the dream team. Put the photo up again of me and John. Now, just quick point while you're finding the photo of me and John.
There you go. I have it right next week.
That's what Mark Canham. That's what he wanted for the pathway. Just a quick one. I just had a quick look through the feedback from the AGM. Yeah, Paul Cook spoke about various and praised the women for coming out about the the allegations of the abuse and things like that, bravery of them. But also David Carell did speak at it. Was asked about Mark Canham, and they said he's a valuable person within the association. That didn't answer the question whether he's getting more money or not, which I thought was quite interesting and telling. But did say Heimer has had a challenging start, but it is a start, and it wasn't ideal the timing of the appointment. But he's in there now, and he's got the full faith of them.
Okay,
basically words to that effect.
Thank you for that. I'm sure there'll be more coming out about that. John Mucking, Brighton had 70% possession. Sammy couldn't do much. Fair point.
I think he was saying O'Shea played well then, because he was said about the passing.
Darrell O'Connor would prefer if Dowda never gets in an Ireland squad again. Good man, Darrell. Darrell O'Connor. Troy Parrott just got a 9.9 out of 10 performance from Foot Mob. Hard not to with 4 goals, but the lad is in form. Play him for fuck's sakes. 100%. 100%. Dave McGoldrick enthusiast. Eberseli got off the bench today. Hopefully he gets a run up games and becomes a stable in that good for team. John Muckie and Troy was finishing them in the corners today. Brilliant. John Muckie again. Is James McAtee locked with England now? Connor, that's for you.
I don't think he's eligible, as far as I'm aware. But no, I don't think he's eligible for Ireland. It's never been one mentioned. But I think he played for England or 21s last time, and he's 21. So I think he's locked. Yeah. But I don't think he's eligible for Ireland.
Okay. Hope that answers your question, John. Darrell O'Connor, Doherty is a liability and doesn't deserve to ever be in that team again. Horrible attitude as well. Darrell O'Connor, how are we seeing these things constantly and the management doesn't? You'd swear they were trying to piss us off. That's the question. That's what the new manager has to get right. He has to get it right over the next window, not November, October. And if people see an attempt to get that right and see an improvement, then do you know what? The pitchforks will go away, and they'll go, okay. It was the talk of, oh, I need another window, and John needs to be in charge for the next window. It was that kind of stuff. No, no, we don't want to see that. Long throw and HH answer for goals. Says John Muckian. Get Roy Lap, will we? Kevin O. HH would learn a lot more watching this podcast than looking at clips on my scout. He actually would, Kevin O. Thank you very much.
All your knowledge, Dave. Fair play.
4-4-2. He went with it. He listens. He watches. No. But to be fair, like some of the players, Conor, you mentioned, he's yeah. Reid McLaughlin. Yes, we need Fessy to keep playing. John Muckian again. Thanks, Martin, for the scoop on the England tickets at 3 p.m. that Friday. Martin the Greek at it again, were you? Your fucking suitcase outside on Lansdowne Lane.
No, it's just I think it was about
both face value as well, Martin. That's unacceptable.
No, it was they were going on sale, wasn't it? The individual tickets.
Dynamic pricing, was it? Yeah.
No, that's what it was.
From Risk London itself.
Yeah, Martin with his mobile phones now because they're all in that app. Nah, we joke. Poor Mark's probably going to get him done at Dublin Airport. David Calder, enthusiast. Sam Curtis is playing very well in League One. Think he breaks into that Sheffield team next season or gets another move. Michael Hennessy, it's the hope that kills you. Says Michael, yes. Ronan Tilly, how you doing, Ronan? What's the 5-year plan? Build a team that can beat Liechtenstein, and San Marino. Well, hopefully it doesn't get that bad, Ronan. David Walsh, next squad needs to have Doherty and Brady dropped. Thinks he needs to change formation and pick squad to suit manager. Really needs to put work in. Simple things like throw-ins were a joke versus Greece. 100%. Kevin O, watch that documentary, Mick McCarthy's 98 qualifying. McCarthy's Park. By the way, he was so brave in blooding young players and dropping his former teammates. HH, take note. Be brave. Oh, sorry, guys. I have botched.
What have you done?
Here we go. I've just lost the comment, but I've got it back. John Muckian, Finland away. Loads of comments coming in, by the way, guys. Keep them coming in. Thank you so much for that. Just under 2,000 people watching this live, lads, on a Saturday night, eh? Mad, isn't it?
Would one of quite less.
Match of the day must be shite.
Yeah. Well, I won't be watching it, that's for sure. John Mucking, Finland. We were talking international window, Martin, so don't you start. John Mucking, Finland and Greece away. Difficult to pick an experimental squad, although he must. If we lose both games, which is likely, if changes aren't made, then writing on the wall. Application, John. It's all about application. Darrell O'Connor, I remember not too long ago, we mightn't score, but we wouldn't concede. How far away from that are we now? I nearly backed myself to score outside the box against this Irish team. You got to start. Like, this team it's on its knees. It's on its knees. Like, it's mentally just shattered. The confidence is terrible. It doesn't help when the fans are booing, and probably could do without that. Now, I get the frustration. Believe me, I get it, but don't really like seeing that. You got to fix the basics, the foundations, defense. If you don't concede, you can't lose. You work on a defense, then you take care of the attacking, and it'll take care of it, and the defense will take care of itself. That's my opinion. Mine. The players we have are better than those two performances showed. Really worried about the whole management team. David Walsh being live at Lansdowne. Thanks or no thanks to you. You see lots live you don't see on TV. Too many players in roles they're unfamiliar with. Square pegs in round holes. David. John Muckian, I'm sure Carzo is doing both with England being at games and with analytical tools. Yes, he was at the Everton Villa game today, chatting away to Tyrone Mings, who was injured for the 2 games. Jimmy Shell, guys, I hope to God we don't lose our under-21s to the senior team like 2 years ago when we still have a chance to qualify for the under-21s. That was an interesting one, Conor, wasn't it? When he basically pillaged Kenny did. Do you remember for the Dutch game? Wasn't it Conor McAvoy? What was his name? The Andy Moran, and he was going to be the captain, and he took him out, and then they lost to Italy.
Yeah. No, the Drew, but no, it was Norway. It was the Norway game they took him out for, and they lost Norway away. But I think it was worse the first time go around when he brought through Jason Knight and a couple of others in the first campaign that Jim Crawford took over halfway through, and they had Iceland to play at home. And I think if they beat what I remember, if they beat Iceland that day, they would have had a very good chance of getting a playoff. But I don't think Heimer's gonna. I don't think he'll change too much in terms of bringing. Like I don't think he mightn't bring any under 21s unless Andy Moore starts getting goals and assists in the league, or if Sinclair does. I don't think I don't think he's going to be listening to rep track or telling him to bring through Teo Darmola or Boston Lowell. So I don't think anything's going to get my wish.
Yeah, did you watch? Did you listen?
They do watch, but don't listen.
Oh, I like it, Connor. Kevin O. HH taking a leaf out of Hill's remote working policy. If I was on 600k, I'd be on it every game, meeting the Irish players. It's confidence boosting for them as well. They feel wanted. Exactly what you said, Martin. And yeah, 100% Kevin. Totally agree with that. John Mulkeen, if we play younger players, it adds to their value, more likely to get better moves. That was actually one thing I think Stephen Kenny helped with players like Nathan Collins.
And Keith Andrews is a big conscious effort to try and do that.
Yeah. It's something that just got lost. So something that we used to see a lot under the Mick McCarthy era. Young lads, Robbie Keane, for example. Oh, he's an international. Okay. Probably got moves to Inter Milan because of his performances for Ireland. And it just got lost after that. It's a very basic thing in football that never changes.
Even if I'd say, if I don't know if you've seen, you wouldn't have seen, because I didn't see the comments until someone commented this morning about Franco Uma, about what Oliver Glasner said about him. He said that we have a young lad, Franco Uma, that's training every day with the first team, and he's not. He said we have a Irish under 21 under 21 national player in our academy. It's our job to give him the chance to show what he could do in first team training, and even give him some minutes in the Premier League. Yeah, it's up to him to improve because he's 19, but he's a lot of talent. That shows that you bring these lads. Franco was with the under 19s, and then he got called up to the 21s. First time there, didn't even play. But that's a hint from Glasner saying this fella's a real talent. The Irish coaching staff at 21 levels, the scouts, think he's a top talent. We should be blooding him into the first team now at Crystal Palace. Little things like that could, even with Teo, if he goes back to Crystal Palace next summer, and I expect him to challenge for that first team spot. But if they see him that he's impressed at Stockport, one of the best left backs in League One, and from that he's got called up to the Ireland senior team, I think they're going to think, wow, maybe we should be looking to make him first choice.
And being an international adds to the value of a player, even for Ireland.
Yeah, 100%.
Dave McGoldrick, enthusiast. Tom Canning starting for Stoke is a good sign. Might be the end of Callum Robinson. Video vibes. I asked AI to name the best current side using statistics such as speed passes, win-loss ratio for club tackles and deceptions, players beaten, etc. And here's the team it selected. Okay. I see what you did there. Kevin O. Kieran Clark's parents from Milford, County Donegal, unfortunately, never really did it for Ireland. It was brutal at Euro 2016. I knew there was a D in it somewhere. Thank you for that, Kevin. Downtown 123. Vital gets the squad right as important for the names who should be excluded. Also need fresh talent without taking need to take a chance on a couple of granny rules as well. And home base, lads. This next squad, vital for the manager. John Mulkeen, how is Huma on the bench for under 21s Ireland? Yeah, he was on the bench against Chelsea 2 weeks ago. Go on, Connor. Answer him, Connor.
Well, he's still. I think he's only the second. There's only two real left wing back options in the Palace squad. I think it's Mitchell, and then he's next after that. I wouldn't take too much from that. Like the 21s have a very, very strong team, and Sean Rowan's playing every single week for. He's playing every single week for Lincoln, and he's doing very well. So I wouldn't be too worried if he keeps doing what he's doing at club level and gets some minutes the first team. Yeah, then I'd ask questions.
Video. Oh, sorry. This is the team. I thought Video Vibes was being, he's doing one of those. Oh, here's the top team in Ireland, and like there's nothing. So he does have a team. Sorry, Video Vibes, because that's something I would do. To be fair, goalkeeper Basunu, right back Matt Doherty, centre back John Egan, centre back Nathan Collins, left back Ryan Manning, defensive midfield Josh Cullen, Jason Malumbi, Jason Knight, right wing Chidozie Ogbeni, striker Evan Ferguson, left winger Mikey Johnson. Well, what's his fucking AI? No.
That's not bad. That's better than what we've picked.
No, it's got Matt Doherty in it. I'm sorry. The argument
Probably goes
goes
off
down.
ratings.
You get rid of him and then maybe Shane Brown. The more I listen to this chat, the more optimistic I'm getting. Good man, Shane. It's
Dave,
look,
he's not Dave, he's not referring to you. I think me and Prendy can agree on that. You're the least positive man with Irish football I've ever
let
met.
me tell you, I tell it as it is, Connor. I tell it as it is. But I have said that we do have good players. It's just they've just been horribly mismanaged.
Oh, can I just bump in? I seen the biggest load of shit statement I've ever seen in my life from Alan Brown now tonight. It's really pissed me off, saying the main reason we're not winning games these days is because we don't have that star Premier League players. I guess we have players in the Premier League and we've Ferguson, he could be that. But we don't have that player that can go win. When is the last time we've had a player of that quality? Even when we qualified Euro 16, we had good players in our squad. We'd no standouts. We didn't have a Gareth Bale that could go win us a game from something out of nothing. I think it's the biggest little bollock statement I've ever. It actually pissed me off so much. I think it's just a terrible excuse for not winning a game of football. Like, we have more than enough to beat that Greece team the other night. And he's a big reason why we lost.
Oh, wow.
That second goal, it's not just on Doherty. He kicked the ball out of play and fell asleep in the throw-in.
Both of them, to be fair. Then McGoldrick enthusiast. Luca Connell, good shout for seniors, definitely not a League One player. Hopefully Barnsley gets promoted or gets a move to a championship side. And Video Vibes goes, that's the AI best team we can field based on statistics, says Video Vibes. Blue and Gold, give Hodge and Vita a chance. Also, Darrell Connor, agree. Connor is a great addition to Lansdowne Roar, especially for under 21s and players up and coming. I go as far as saying he probably has more Irish football knowledge than those in management. All right, steady on, Darrell. Martin himself. Easy on the praise. No, fantastic addition, and yeah, do give him a follow. By the way, if you want to know what's going on with the latest in Irish players, upcoming players, the lad is doing God's work over there. Republic of Ireland player tracker. There it is. There at Rep Tracker. If you see it on the screen there. 2,000 watching us tonight at the moment, lads. 2,000. Just so I'll put it out there.
And make sure to subscribe if you are watching.
And like the video as well. It had to push us out there.
Please like the video.
Sorry. Yeah, the old insight there.
Please subscribe. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Scan the QR code. YouTube channel. We are trying to grow that. Kevin O, Chief Scout Connor. John Muckian, how risky can HH be with the next lineup? I just think he just needs to do what has to be done. Just needs to get rid of the dead wood and bring in some young lads that should have been brought in before. Simple. I think people will understand that. Even if we get four, like, I don't know, we get 3 points, we beat Finland, we lose to Greece, or we get a draw, we get 4 points or something. I think that'd be, if he goes with a really, he clears out the dead wood, we get 4 points against Greece and Finland. I think that'd be a roaring triumph. I think fantastic. It's looking up.
Because we don't need to make that many changes to the starting 11. It's more the impact players off the bench. And we'll have the likes of Josh Cullen coming back into the team. I can't think who we'll have others. I can't even think off the top of my head now.
Mikey, maybe.
Mikey Johnson, yes.
Mikey Johnson. He is a terrific player. Dave McGoldrick enthusiast. Connor, what's the chance of Paul Nabel switch after a stint in under 21s for Germany?
He's a Liam Delap situation. He can't switch anymore. He's played for them over the age of 21.
There you are. See, Connor knows. Shane Brown, Boston Lawal need a midfield presence. I hope he gets there. You're a big fan of him, Connor, and yourself, Martin, too. Dean Flood, honestly, don't see a problem with bringing in some younger League One players. Sure, we were doing it when Troy was at MK Dons. 100%.
Exactly, yeah.
Springboard.
We were in a worse position then. We were in a worse position then. We were bad need them, but I still think it shows that it did work then. Do it again.
And here's the thing: if you're picking a player who's like, I'm not picking out James McLean, by the way, but if you're picking a player in the mid-30s in League One, okay, that's a bit. But if you're picking a young lad in League One who's got it, and we actually said this, Martin, did we, back in the day when Stephen Kenny was and people were giving out by picking young League One players? Well, no, they're gone. They're not going to be there. Jason Knight was League One, wasn't he, with Derby at the time? He's not going to be there. He will get a move out. Same with Luca Connell and these young lads. Give them a chance if they're.
It's just a platform to show what they can do and build from there.
That's it. Darrell O'Connor, facts people don't realise being in League B, can get us a playoff. Nations League is important whether people see it as such or it's not. I love the Nations League. It is really the equalizer. It's the leveler. It's a great leveler. It's where you're at. Kevin O, I like the Nations League as well. The ultimate triage system. Martin O'Neill treated it with contempt. He even said he didn't understand it at the time. Guy was reckless in his last year. Oh, he just didn't give a fuck, did he?
He's just such a West Brit loving man that has no interest in Irish football. That he just listens what English fans say on Talk Sport. That the Nations League doesn't matter. No football matters unless it's the Premier League or English national team player. That's what he looks at football as. So I'd rather listen to I don't know, who would talk about Irish football.
Me. Video vibes. I asked AI today the best young talent with Irish heritage to play for future Ireland, and here's what I said: goalkeeper Luca Ashby Hammond. Right back Matt Doherty. See, that's where I just go, fucking delete that. Video vibes. Centre back Amabama Deli. Aaron Cashin. Left back Sean Rowan. Defensive midfield Will Smallbone. Central midfield Joe Hodge. Central midfield Charlie McNeil. Right wing Oko Flex. Striker Evan Ferguson. Left wing Adam Ida.
Oko Flex is Irish and he wasn't even in the strongest 11 that he asked AI. AI's messing up here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Metlick Storm. Troy Parr getting 4 goals today. Yes, he did. ATH. Irish Group B is too tough, and even Group C is tough to compete in. Group D is our level. Jesus,
we're not that bad.
No, we're not. Although we are heading that way, we don't sort it out. David Goldrick, enthusiast. Should Aaron Cashin and Garcia McNulty not get a sniff in the squad?
If players like Omobama Deli.
Sorry, just had a bit of a thing there with Twitter. It seems to be having a bit of an issue with Twitter with Lansdowne Road and Lansdowne Roar. Sorry, just this is live. It just popped up there. David Goldrick enthusiast. Should Aaron Cashin and Garcia McNulty not get a sniff in the squad if players Bamadali and O'Brien are kept resulted to cup games?
I'll jump in then. Aaron Cashin, I'd say, is very close to the squad because we need a left-footed centre back. Garcia McNulty, I think, leave him in the 21s until the end of the campaign. Omar Bamadeli, I think, has to play. I think he has the future. He's a player we can look at and think, yeah, he's the potential to play for a top 6 club in England. I know he's not playing really at the moment, but I think just the whole situation of Forest with bringing players in and out is just a mess. And I think he'll probably get a very good loan in January or move on to, like, there's so many Premier League clubs I could look at and think, oh yeah, he'd start for them or at least be regular minutes. So I think it's Cashin possibly bring in now, McNulty maybe wait till the under 21s campaign ends.
Fair enough. So just apologies to anybody there watching on Twitter for having any issues. It's to do with Twitter apparently. If you do experience difficulties on the Twitter channels, you can head over to Lansdowne Road Facebook, or you can head over to Lansdowne Road on the YouTube channel. We're live on all those platforms. So apologies if you are having issues with your Twitter. It is completely out of our control. It's a Twitter issue, apparently. Darren O'Connor, speaking of kits, I sent David a potential 3rd kit. Don't know if you've seen it, Martin. Eddie O'Mahony has it up. It's white with green sleeves, centered crest. He said it won't be available to buy. Sorry, Darrell, I did, and I didn't respond to you. Very rude of me. The lads, you've all seen it. Eddie loves it. I think it's shite.
It's one of the worst kits I've ever seen in my life. That's all I have to say on it. I don't want to speak on it. It just pisses me off looking at it.
Yeah, I think that probably was a. I would guess it was a sample shirt that they had an idea to kind of make. And yeah, it's a fair play for getting it. Whoever made it.
Keep it as a sample, please.
Yeah.
Funny enough, the kit is based on Houghton USA 95. I don't know how. It doesn't look anything like what we wore during that time. Gorgeous shirt as well. I mean, we do blood young players. We have actually given too many caps to too many players on the Kenny. You're making too much of systems and different players. Problem is, with with players in the coaching teams. Sorry, I'm just getting like pop-ups from the Twitter, the errors on Twitter, just like goes right over the comments. So problem is with the player and the coaching team.
I don't think the young players we capped were all right. It was more like the likes of playing CJ Hamilton and Ronan Curtis and Scott Hogan. I think
Yeah.
I feel I don't know, I think the young players are still there to this day.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, we needed them because we were giving players debuts at the ages of 27, 28 when they should have been given like debuts of 20, 22. It's on 21s for a reason, isn't it? 22, 23. That's when you give them debuts. Sorry, Kevin. No, well said, Prendy. It's not enjoyable being an Ireland fan. It's the basic things on and off the pitch that are not being done right. That is so frustrating. I thought I'd give you a little, give you some of your flowers there, Martin. Oh, Kyle
nice.
Houlihan. Sorry.
Very nice. Yeah,
It is.
I like the start of it. Just well said, Prendy. Everyone could comment that for every
Look
time.
at his little face lights up when someone says, "Well said, Brendan."
I know.
Jesus.
It's very clear. It's very clear he doesn't hear that often. So, Kyle Houlihan, it'll be the March squad. That's the most important. Next one won't see much change, especially with the under-21s having massive games in October and potentially playoffs in November. That's a point. But I just think.
I think he is spot on though.
No, I do agree. Sorry.
No, go on ahead, Dave. You get your point.
No. Yeah, I do agree that the under 21s. I think we're kind of hamstrung a little bit by the under 21s because they were doing shite in the campaign, but we have some talented players. Like you could just take them out, but they're doing really well. But sorry, over to you, so.
I think it is, as we said earlier, just the likes of Boston and Theodore Mola who haven't been involved in the last camp or two through injuries. So I think they've shown enough that they can beat anyone with the players they've got at the moment. So maybe bring them two into the senior squad because realistically, we're not going to bring in 521s into October camp. It'd just be stupid and it's unrealistic to think as fans to think that. So because we do have Cullen and Johnson to come back in, that's automatically 2, and then Cannon will probably come back in, so that's 3. So like we're not going to bring in 9 players to the next squad.
Fair. Kyle Houlihan, this is one for you, Martin. Is part of the most disrespected Irish player. Always comes on. There's great things, I guess, thrown out on the wing because managers don't know what to do with a technical number 9.
Yeah, I'd agree with that largely. And one of the things I was going to make a point similarly to that kind of point there was in response to, we used to struggle to win games, but we never used to concede goals. We used to worry about not having that number 10 player, the player who used to unlock the door kind of thing when the team came in low block against us. We used to think like Jack Byrne, like we were crying out for him sometimes. We spoke about Robbie Brady. I think Troy's a very clever player like that. Sammy Schmolix has obviously come in there now. He can do that. But teams aren't even doing that against us now, though. They're not playing that way. They're not playing this low block kind of sitting in because they're not worried about us. No one's worried about how we are because we don't have an identity of how we're playing at the moment. And
easy.
I would agree with Parrott that he is. He should be getting a lot more game time with us, and to not get any minutes is absolutely disgraceful, to be honest.
100%. Jimmy Shell,
he's fit, isn't he? Because he's gone and scored 4 tonight.
Yeah. Like it's always like Adamides wasn't even getting 90 minutes for Celtic. He's coming on as a sub, but he's not even starting. Jimmy Shell, lads, do you think Lansdowne will get more matches at Casement Park, which looks dead in the water, be used instead? What do you reckon?
Yeah, we get. Mark McCatton said last night in an article that it's due that the way they had to point out if Casement didn't get it, we'd get 7 matches instead of 6. So it looks like we will get another one.
Good. Do you know what? That's our tax money, Martin. Let the GAA. It is. It actually is our tax money because we pay tax over here in mainland UK. Let the GAA fund that stadium. That's kind of there you go. Bitter. Glenn Forbes, Ireland are playing so bad right now. Man United might have beaten them. Oh, good man, Glenn.
If you watch United today, they fucking struggled hard enough.
Yeah, I heard it. I didn't see any of it. I heard they were quite poor, but say the penalty. You say the penalty, didn't they? And then they just, Southampton are shit anyway. Let's be honest. E, how you doing, E? Maybe HH was in Jamaica too long. He's very laid back. John Foy. Yep, Martin's right.
Wow, there you go.
Fucking hell.
And that could be in regards to anything I've said.
And everything he's said ever in the world. John Foy, I'd pick him over Robinson any day. Who's that you were talking about?
Obafemi or Parrott, one of the two.
Yeah, it's all right, man. Just take the compliment, Martin. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think it was.
Just take the compliment. Jack Byrne was unreal last night. Worth a shout, Fergus.
Oh, he was unbelievable. It was so good to watch. When you're just a player you love to watch at the very best, one of the best, back to his prime years. The European games for Shamrock Rovers are going to be fun to watch if he's playing at his very best.
Fair play to him as well. He's had a few injury problems,
Yeah.
hasn't he? And yeah, and I said
Yeah.
that we were looking at that, aren't we, Connor? That Chelsea game.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm hoping to go to all the home ones. I'll be there at all the home ones anyway, and the game in Lauren, and I'm gonna hopefully be in London for that Chelsea game. It'll be a good one to get to.
Nice one. Yes, Byrne's class to watch on his day. John Nolan, maybe some American actors. What by Dundalk? Darrell O'Connor, speaking of not crossing in, Après Match gave a great quote as to why we don't. It's an atheist. There might be a cross, but no one there. Way. Gary Jackson, John Patrick Finn played for Getafe in La Liga today. Could be the bastard midfielder we have been looking for. Connor?
Yeah, he played about 5 minutes, so I think from what I've heard from people, he's not probably a player that'll ever go on to be a senior international for Ireland unless it turns around, unless a big upturn. But it's good to see an Irish footballer getting minutes with a La Liga club. Hopefully because he's been there. I think it was something he made his debut 4 years ago, and then the game before international break was his first appearance since. So it was 4 years between his, I think it might have been his third appearance and his fourth appearance. But it's good to see. Hopefully he might break into 21s. He's still 20.
Still young enough.
Yeah.
Still young enough. David H., I feel like we're currently worse off than when Kenny. Yeah. John O'Brien needs to be starting in the right centre back role. Jacob Bryan. David H., I feel like we're currently worse than when Stephen Kenny was in charge. David H., maybe. And he goes on to make that point again. Irish Jedi, the shambles of a process has now spilled into new manager's reign. When you can't get results, every minor slip up is picked up. Example, O'Shea press conference, not meeting players, etc. That's it. And Irish fans are, and they're browned off. When you're winning, no one cares, but they're pissed off. And it's not exactly Hamer's fault. It's everything. It's the PAC, it's the process and the management and the ticket prices and the shirt and the sponsorship. There's so much annoyance with Irish football at the moment, which is now turning into apathy. It's when you go over to a game, there's no big game buzz. Like we were playing Greece there on Tuesday, you wouldn't think it. You know, I mean, you had 37,000 fans in a 50,000 seater stadium. It's not a bad number, but you know, they got to be so careful here. Really have to be careful. David H., I feel like we're currently worse. Oh, fucking third. All right, I read it out 3 times. Irish Jedi, could you not attend the game on a Saturday and watch it back on a tactical cam the day after? Not like if you miss it, like you can't see it. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, should be going. I want to hear less from Callum, to be honest. Martin.
No, I think he's like we've invested in this guy to come up with a pathway, and we can't ask him a question about it. And why is he not up front of that up really? And celebrating his new job in front of it's a PR exercise, making people support Irish football. You know, why do we trust in it?
I agree. The Irish Jedi, the problem with the last campaign being so poor was that people began to think of a change of manager would dramatically change the results. There needs to be a root and branch change starting at FAI. Again, I'm all for giving youth a chance, but it's not fair to make babies play senior football. Not all of them, just 1 or 2, but especially in the left back, because we don't have a left back. Baylor, last time we had a star player in the Premier League was McGoldrick.
He's not wrong. When is the last time the best player at a club has been an Irish player? It has been David McGoldrick when he was at Sheffield United.
He was a star, wasn't he?
He actually was a star. I think
he was a star, Martin. Come on, there you go. That's your answer. That's your argument.
The best player.
Probably the best. Well, do you reckon, Conor? He's the best. He's the best striker we've had since Robbie Keane.
I said before that.
Really? Wow.
I think in the last 50 years he's well in the top 2 anyway.
Top 2 striker, Martin.
No. Yeah. Has Robbie Keane ever scored an equalising header against Switzerland?
No, he hasn't.
No.
Don't think
so
he's actually
keep
scored against
Prendy.
Yeah, shut it, Prendy. Irish.
This just goes to this just keeps people believing it.
Yeah, he was a top. And look at him now; he's still flying.
Still flying at the age of 50. Come on. Yeah. Irish Jedi, take away.
What did he do when we needed him?
He was the best player on the pitch. Remember that World Cup, or was it the Euros playoff? Was the best player on the pitch, and a certain someone who is now playing beside Luke O'Connell and Barnsley missed an open goal, and someone missed a penalty that night that Dave's a big fan of. And you can't blame David McGoldrick for that.
No.
That
There you
didn't
go.
that header from McGoldrick get us to that playoff?
Against Switzerland. Yep. There you
Yeah.
go, Martin. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
Irish Jedi, take away
Memorable
from
one goal.
It's a vital goal, Martin.
See, that man watches
Vital.
football off stats. He doesn't watch it with his eyes, Dave. Me and you,
Yeah,
that's why
see,
we go to games. You don't.
fucking watching on your Y Scout, Martin, are you?
Yeah.
He doesn't even. He's on fucking sofa score.
Oh. Irish Jedi, take away from the Greece game. We need to play 4 centre halves across the back. I would now play Amabamidele or O'Shea at right back, even if Coleman and Doherty were fit. I mean, he was solid. He just, I suppose, going forward, he just didn't really offer much. How hard is it to make us hard to play against? Far too soft nowadays. Any word on Ryan Johansson? Has he been playing regularly, Connor?
He actually came on today for, I don't know, it's SV Weinwesen or something, some German team. He's playing in the 3rd division of Germany.
He's
I think
way
he's
off,
meant to
isn't
be. I think he's meant to be their main man sort of thing. I think he's a good player. From what I used to watch him with the 21s, he looked technically very good. But I don't know. It's just the last couple of years through injuries. Like I remember there was a year he was in the Sevilla first team and he scored pre-season a couple of times and looked like he could break through. But I think if he has a big year, maybe in the 3rd division of Bundesliga, maybe next year he might get moved to the top 2nd tier or maybe the Austrian league or maybe a Bundesliga team. But you never know.
Fair enough. David H. Always hear people saying we don't have the players. Wales and Scotland are similar to ourselves and they're able to compete and score goals. Why can't we? It's a lazy.
Wales are worse than us. That's all I have to say. Wales have a worse squad. Bar Brennan Johnson and Harry Wilson, their squads, and Ampadu, I'd say everything else we have is better.
Fair enough. Impassioned. Shane Brown, Neil Collins, Barnsley manager and our Tampa Bay Rowdies coach last year. A standing guy and good coach. If Neil has Luca Connell as a skipper, it says a lot about Luca and his leadership qualities.
See,
there you go. Good
no
shout.
one agree with me.
John Cashin, very small squad. Very small as centre back. Aaron Cashin. At TH, can you see the government stopping funding for the FAI as it appears there's still issues of control and hierarchical structures, Martin?
No, they won't stop it, but they will limit how they get it and what they make it more accountable. I think will happen. They've got to do that. They're not going to give them any more money if they're just messing around with it.
Fair enough. TH, Irish political establishment class have loyalty to GA, rugby, dogs, and equestrian, but not football.
See all the money they got from Apple last week just to give football to some, wouldn't it? Maybe
yeah,
give the dogs some to save them.
You can sort out the FAI problems and build a fucking metro for the crack.
Yeah. Might get a train in Monaghan one day after that.
Here's one from Martin.
More country up here.
That English bloke who lives in England should probably support England.
Yeah, I should. But I'm just glory hunter following Ireland, traveling over to every game. Jesus. I'll meet you for a pint next time we're at Lansdowne Road.
Yeah, that's fucking classic. Sorry, Martin. He's probably, the irony is he's probably talking about me. Irish Jedi, how far down the pecking order is the Irish national team in the eyes of the average sports fan, and how big a concern is this? Massive, massive. I can tell you, living in Ireland, growing up in Ireland. Sorry, Martin. When there was an Ireland game here, it was absolutely massive. It was massive. It was an event. The flags came out just for a match. The flags came out. We used to have the footpaths painted green, white, and orange. It was a massive thing, and you'd be sitting there in the edge of your seat. It was a buzz around town, and you had Irish players on everything. 7-Up bottles, Opel cars, you name it. And now it's just...
Even when I was younger, there was a bit of that. There was the Lucasade Sport bottles used to have Shane Long on the side of them and stuff. But thing is, these things easily turn around. A couple of wins, World Cup qualified, a Euros qualified, when people start, as we know in this country, there's a lot of casual fans for sports. You've seen it with the rugby. There's a lot of people that you see aren't fans of rugby, not to discredit them, but they're not fans. And then when Ireland's playing in the World Cup or Ireland plays New Zealand, they're suddenly out in their numbers. So it's the same in every sport in this country. There's a lot of casuals, but
that's true. That is. I think that's really evident with Ireland. The Olympics, different, I suppose, the Olympics, but the rugby everything else, and we are competing with other sports like the best golfers in the world, horse racing. We're fantastic at so many sports, but football, the biggest one played, and it's just hard to get the interest when the team aren't performing and the results aren't going well. People do want to these days. They want to associate themselves and their lives with success and get immediate success. They don't want to be patient and things. So that's just one of the things we have to deal with, and that's one of the things the FAI are battling, and that's
Yep.
why they can get so many other things right though to get the interest in it. It shouldn't always just be about the results.
No, not public. Heimer earning 650k, not researching any of the players for 2 months prior to the England game, not picking his players, and not doing all press conferences. Unforgivable. It's a bad Irish joke. Baller or Baylor, sorry. Prendy is like the Martin O'Neill McGoldrick hate. We all hate to see it. Yeah, you bad man. You bitter old bastard, Martin.
Well
Well said.
I love
Well
McGoldrick,
said.
really. Me and Didsy. We
Have
You
you got
definitely
a
asked
picture with
for a
him?
photo and he
I
said
have
no,
got
did
a
he?
story about him.
Yeah.
No. Didsy, I've got photos with Didsy. Of course I have. I always have a photo with fans when I ask.
Changing the tune now. aren't you?
But no, one of the things I don't know if I've said the story. It's just so impressive. The night of the Turner's Cross match when he was released from the 2016 squad by Martin O'Neill, and going back from Cork Airport the next morning after the game in Belarus. I don't know if my friend there, Art said 08, would have been at that game. I don't know if he goes to games, but anyway, I was there. And the next morning at the airport, Dizzy obviously disappointed, but very early flight out, as I often will do. 6 a.m. Bar was open. Darren Gibson and Dizzy, fair play. They put a few pints away, and I thought, fair play to you. So, yeah, that was quite an impressive sight. One of the most
Probably
impressive
drinking away the
things
beer.
I've seen McGoldrick do for Ireland.
Horrible man, isn't he?
He's
That's
bitter
not
old-
horrible, man. I'm
he's
not
bitter
horrible,
old
man.
bastard, yeah.
Love the
Horrible
man.
man.
Brilliant player.
The-
Great
the
player
eldest-
for us.
the eldest
I'm joking.
statesman.
I'm just saying it is a myth. The one goal,
Yeah.
I do want to see my
Oh,
friends
go
score.
to bed, will you? It's getting late for you.
Yeah.
Put a bed on.
Jack Byrne converted to deep lying playmaker, says Sean McKeown. Under 21s should be left alone. Doherty has to be dropped next window. And he continues.
Could you
Can't believe-
just want to say imagine the celebrations on social media if we see the next Ireland squad and Matt Doherty's not in it.
Oh,
Because
God.
the
could you imagine-
abuse that poor man, it's horrible what's happened. The abuse that man's got over the last couple of week or so is actually no one wants to go through the abuse he's gone through. Like even
No.
though you've seen his Instagram comments, I don't know why he posted on Instagram last week. I don't know if you've seen it after the great. What was the need to post? And he didn't. It's not like it wasn't a bad post. It's just the fact that unless he is a media, probably because the money he's earned, he has a media team that tells him you need to post interactions up, but. Maybe you should turn comments off or something because
or just delete your social media.
But that's
I've-
the ego of these players, not me. But that's the not me. But Shane Long, I love Shane Long. Right, he actually did score goals for Ireland as a striker. But I absolutely love him. But
he still playing?
it just shows you not the kind of understanding of them as a player. When his wife was talking about Kaylee, lovely woman by the way, been in her company at Euro 2016 as well. But look, I didn't expect Shane Long to be felt so aggrieved by the number being taken away from him or not being kind of handed over the right way which he said after Stephen Kenny. These players, that's why they're successful sportsmen. They have got egos. Robbie's another player we've often spoke about. He's got an ego, but he was able to back it up, and that's what they're like. These players, they have their social media accounts. They want to feel loved and things, but. I don't get it, Connor. Why he doesn't need to post, especially when he's getting so much grief. But it comes across as piss taking, and fans get very pissed off when they see him like going, "Oh yeah, we put in a good shift today." Like we've paid our money to watch you, and you clearly haven't, and you're laughing about it. You're not going to endear yourself to the fans doing that.
No, total lack of awareness. Can't believe Troy Parrott did not start ahead of Ida. Thought he would link up well with Schmolic. Not public. Parrott has now scored more goals than all the players in the last Irish squad put together. Hopefully Heimer will see him on the football manager game that he's playing. Finbar, Pebbles, looking good. Thank you very much, Finbar. Hope you're enjoying the pod. Dean Flood, you see Casem Park will be getting redeveloped and would be funny if the North qualified and had to do the games down here. They won't qualify as hosts now. They'll have to qualify the old-fashioned way, I believe. At TH, do you think that HH didn't take a press conference, show up, that he made a mistake with the Ireland job, and the next named squad show up his interest in the job?
No. He's professional at the end of the day. He gets paid to do a job, and he knew what he was getting into, didn't he?
I bloody well hope so. Michael, just be realistic. We have no talent at the moment. Quit playing at the back, get the effing ball at the pitch, and hope for the best. Well, no, we've got talent, but I do believe in go back to basics and then building from there. I'm not saying that we play every game like what Trapp used to do, cookie cutter, just next week, name a team a week in advance at the Euros. But let's get back to basics and then build from there. I think we have enough quality.
Can I just come in on that, because I think it's really worthwhile. Have a listen to Under the Kosh podcast with Big Sam, and you would actually endear
I did
yourself
watch
to
that, actually,
thinking, yeah, right, very good. But talking about how teams are all coached now to play out from the back, and yet you don't necessarily have the players to do it, and that's how football's evolved. And it's all the fault of Pep in a sense. Whereas Pep has the best players, better do it. Liverpool can, Arsenal can. A lot of work needed on it. That's a thing now. Again, speaking as a coach, all right, it's kids football I'm doing, but the emphasis, we have to coach them to do this. That's not how I learned football. There's nothing wrong with how I learned football and how Big Jack played, pressure, playing higher up the pitch. You've got to play percentages sometimes as well with that, but it's a really good listen just to kind of understand that why Sam played that certain way. But I mean, he had incredible players at Bolton as well. Like, it would convince you. He would have done a good job, I think, with England. And I know he didn't get the job there, with the other circumstances. But it's a good insight into how teams are coached to play. And we've got players who are ultimately looking back at our Ireland squad. They're playing in struggling teams, and we're asking them to do something that they're not always consistently doing at their teams. So that's a difficult thing for them to overcome at times.
Well, yeah, and also, you got someone like Nathan Collins who at Brentford, and he takes the ball out from the back of Brentford, but he's got movement around him. He's got people moving, making the angle for him. He doesn't have that at Ireland. He's got very static players. So it's a bit unfair on him. As I said, I agree with you saying there, Martin. And yeah, I did actually listen to that with Big Sam. He didn't talk too much. He didn't talk at all about the what cost the England job. He kind of just went, "No, we'll go back to the Dubai trips." That was very interesting, and Sam did a very good job around the Bolton top to bottom. Could have been a good Ireland manager for a period, but I don't see the harm in going back to basics, just to build, just get the foundations right, and then build from there. Get players in, the granny ruler players, and we could play a bit of ball. Just play it in their half. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up, lads. We've gone a little bit over. And we're just going to get the last few comments here. Sorry, where are we? TH, can't see Ireland team qualifying for Euro 2028 as Nations League results come into play. Sam Keown, how you doing? Sorry, Sam McKeown. Nothing personal on Doherty, just HH has to set standard, run or walk home. Agreed. Michael, this side would have a tough time against Gibraltar. It did have a tough time against Gibraltar at home anyway. Last year. Baylor praising McGoldrick's downfall for not being picked in that Euro 2016 squad. That's low, Martin. That is terrible.
You always
Martin.
take it too far. You need to calm down, Martin. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't. I said it was one of the most impressive things I'd ever seen. Drinking it
every time he mentions Didsy, Dave, just put him on mute.
I will, yeah.
I love Didsy. Didsy loves me.
Yeah. You love him for getting dropped from a squad. That says it all.
I did love him for that. He didn't get in the squad. He was never going to play at that Euros. It was later on where he started performing for Ireland.
The last comment goes to Not Public. This could be the beginning of the end for the petition of Irish football. 10 years' time, it could be an All-Ireland team. The FAI have proven time and time again not they're useless. Pathetic. I mean, we'll be here all day trying to talk about an All-Ireland team, but we're going to leave it there. Guys, thank you very much to the 2,000 plus people who tune in to watch us for a very special edition of the Window Review. They're all faithful. What can I say? You are wonderful people, and thank you so much for your support over this window. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good window, but we hope you enjoyed the coverage. We hope you enjoyed us from the games and all of that. We're going to do it all again in October. Please, God, Conor, Martin, and myself. Well, Martin won't be in Greece, but Conor, myself, will be at both games. Martin, you will be in Helsinki, and we're going to give you all the coverage. And we're going to be the voice of the fans, as we always are. Sorry, somebody's trying to say something there, were they?
No, I was just going to say before that though, we will be chatting to some people from Irish football. We've got the Risk London 40th anniversary dinner
Oh, of course.
coming up
Yes.
this time next week. Got some good guests coming at that, so we will perhaps reveal that during the week who we're going to have a chat to and see if anyone wants to give us some questions to ask. We've got some very interesting guests coming to that.
Rep tracker, is
Because
he coming?
I don't think you're bothering your ass coming over there, are you?
Wasn't invited, so I
and
won't be there.
Fucking
you don't need an
Hamer,
invite
don't
from me,
know
Hamer
him.
mate. You don't need
McAvoy
an
over there.
invite. Yeah. Hamer won't travel.
Yeah. Are you going to watch it in your Boy Scout, Conor, are you? Are you going to sit at home and watch it in the Boy Scout?
Maybe he's
yeah?
like Burkamp. Maybe he's just afraid to fly.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we will be. If you're in London and you're going to the dinner, say hello. Martin and I will be there for that. That's in the Camden, the Irish Centre in Camden Town next Saturday. But anyway, we will be back. We will have an episode for you next week at some point. Just need to have a look at when that's going to be. We will be back to our usual programming, and we will have an big coming out to see how the rest of the boys in green got on over this campaign. Do join us again in October if you dare brave. If you dare brave it, Conor and I will be at both games from the ground. Please God, Matt will also be in and around, and we're going to have all the coverage, all the stuff going for you as we have during this. Lads, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, lads, for both of you during this window. Thank you very much for watching at home. And before we go, don't forget you can scan the QR code, head over to our Facebook, Instagram, and our Twitter. Do please give the YouTube channel a cheeky subscribe. If you want to support what we do here, you can buy us a coffee. The link is down below. Just anything you can spare, really. You're £3 a month. No. But yeah, just fantastic support, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one. And yeah, I guess
Cheers, lads.
yeah, come on, you boys in green. And oh yeah, don't forget to give Conor, I suppose. Give Conor a little cheeky subscribe as well, if you don't, over on Twitter. Anyway, I'm David Dunn. He's Martin Prendergast. That's Conor McAvoy down below. This was the September 2024 International Window. It wasn't very good, but it's done. It's in the history books. We'll see you in October. Good night. God bless.